Well, I got to apologize. I was so busy hustling trying to get everybody together for the show that I forgot to change the intro. So my apologies. So this is the Red Pill, not DeFi High. Although I am a little buzzed, but I digress. So Jeff says he's on a call with his cousin and will be here in a minute. Drew says he's on his way. We'll see when he shows up. And David said he was going to be here. And I messaged him and I haven't heard back. So you might just be stuck with me. So we shall see. Maybe they're just scared of the topic. I don't know. All right. Who do we got in the chat? We got Jay in the chat, Nick down in the chat. We got a couple people trickling in. We got SK Bilu over on the arena. We got Joseph. What's up? What's up? Yeah. It's the Red Pill. It's not DeFi High. Sorry about that. All right. So basically what I want to start touching on tonight is and if you got kids in the room. Oh, hey, what's up? We got Drew here. What's up, brother?
What's up? Here, I'm going to turn my thing.
All right. Turn your thing. There we go. Look at that. Got the clock on. You're in the sewing studio.
Yeah, let's put everyone to bed.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, here I'll fucking you're kicked back. I'll kick back too. All right, here we go. All right, so David should be popping in here soon, and Jeff's on the phone with his cousin, and will meet us shortly. But the topic that I want to talk about tonight, Drew, and I'm glad you're here, is I want to talk about, and I was just about to say, if you got kids in the room, might want to put some headphones on. We get a little unhinged here. We might say some foul language. And the topic tonight, we're talking about Epstein and the deep corruption at all levels of power. So it might get a little spicy. So just giving you some fair warning. You got little ones around. They got sensitive ears. Pop on some headphones. So that being said, Drew, there's a lot of shit coming out, man. And it's in the US, it's both sides of the aisle. It doesn't matter if it's Republican or Democrat, independent, if Hollywood, royalty. It seems like it's everybody, dude.
Mm-hmm. And what has it been? I mean, we've known about this for like 8 years. Like the children that were victims, they're now 8 years past that, maybe some 15, 20 years. And we're just now like, maybe there's going to be, just a little. They're dangling a carrot in front of us. And honestly, man, like, it's gotten me so disenchanted with having trust in anybody in a political seat that, like,
I don't trust anybody.
Yeah,
I think they're all fucking a disease at this point.
Yeah, it makes you want to do unreasonable things.
Dude. Honestly, it disgusts me at like my very core, because I spent 22 fucking years, fighting to protect a country that's run by these people.
Yeah,
that's it. Honestly, it's like it fucking, that's basically what America is. I hate to say it. I mean, America's its people, but America on a global scale, when it comes to, the financial sector to, at all different levels, America is its government. It's its, representatives. And what do we do if it's this diseased, man?
I mean, in the workforce, or let's say you're pest control, and you find a location that is basically termite ridden, like the walls are eaten, the structure is weak, there is pockets of insects and pests all over the place. You demolish that location and you condemn it, right? You condemn. That's the new word. That's what we get. That's how you say it.
It's condemned.
I'm sorry. You condemn this.
They can't operate. It's been condemned. When I put one of those like stickers, on the door, like whenever they restaurant gets shut down because the health inspector didn't saw some shit. They put that sticker on the door so you can't open it. That's what we need to do in Washington. We need to just
Yeah.
put those stickers.
Yeah. It needs to be condemned. And, like the idea that they're going to fix the debt crisis by growing our way out and expanding the economy on falsified derivatives and more fake paperwork, more fake jobs, more fake dreams.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it's a pile of bullshit, And the crazy thing, and this is what drives me crazy about like some of these new big Bitcoin holders is they're just leveraging debt the same way that our current system that's unraveling and falling apart has been doing, that got us to the point where we're at anyways, right? So they're not being any way, shape, or form a movement towards reshaping the financial landscape of Bitcoin. They're just using it as this leverage to the gills, derivative synthetic monster that used to represent something that could fix the financial system. It's
I don't know. It's just at the moral level, at the financial level, pretty much everything that most governments around the world have been entrusted to do, they have failed at an epic level, dude. Just destroyed massive economies. The US, we fucking were on top of the world. It's like, how do you squander that shit?
Well, they sold us out. They sold us out to foreign countries that would use their slaves to produce our goods. They stole all of the. And Mike, as we're talking, can I ask you, what is the current price of Bitcoin? I am currently in a 50x long, and I'm heavily overexposed.
You degen. Hold on, I'll look.
Yeah, give me a look at.
All right, I'll give you a looky look
here. Give me the juice.
I'll give you the gist. Let's see. It's making me log in. Son of a bitch. All right, here we go. Bitcoin is currently at 66,428.
All right, I'm doing pretty good. All right.
Where did you enter?
65.4.
Okay. So you're up.
It's about 50%. Not bad.
Yeah.
I put the stop at just above entry because I'm fishing for a bottom around here,
Isn't everybody fishing for a bottom, brother?
Everybody's fishing. I got a buddy who's like single and he's asking me like, where am I going to meet that girl? And I told him either Mexico or go to like a strip club in Oklahoma.
I'll be honest. I'm thinking about becoming a passport bro.
Dude, come on now. Yo, what about Japan?
I'm telling you, Asia is, I'm thinking Japan, Philippines, or maybe Thailand or something like that. It's just, dude, cost of living is super affordable. I'm retired. I'm single. Me and Jeff were talking about this. We're both single. Freaking, we can pack up our cats and freaking off we go. For like 500 or 1,000 a month, you can get a badass house with a pool and shit.
Right.
And just eat delicious food and fresh food and healthy food. Go to the beach every day and surf. Dude, what better life, man?
Yeah.
And the women over there are just, so much more pleasant.
What's up, Jeff? I have so many thoughts about this, dude. I have so many thoughts on. I have so many thoughts on this. Oh my God.
What a degenerate I am. It's okay, Drew.
Well, no, it's like I talk to, probably I try to check in with my buddies that I grew up with, right?
Absolutely.
I do this probably every 3 months where I'll just call everyone until they answer. Yeah. And I got to say the common denominator with 9 out of the 10 are extremely unhappy right now. They're unhappy because of how bad inflation's gotten, and
fuck yeah,
they're they're being asked and kind of looked at for like, where the fuck's my nice, big, beautiful house, babe?
Yeah. I was told
And
if I got a decent job that I'd be able to buy a decent house and start a family, and yeah, the American
right,
dream.
right. And so all nine of them, they can't afford a house, right? Everything's, they can't afford a pot to piss in right now, and they are working. They've been working, been doing the same jobs, moving up, yada yada yada. And the thing about it is, it's their significant other expects essentially a mansion, right?
Yeah.
I think that the culture of expectation has been so
Overinflated.
overinflated. It's been so falsified on what people actually should expect as a moderately successful someone that's involved with the economy.
Yeah.
Where now it's like every single spouse expects a villa, expects all of this shit. And it's like, this is the problem with TikTok. This is the
Oh,
fucking problem with TikTok and these fucking fake gay influencers that go on
You guys,
and they show some Lamborghini they rented in a fucking villa Airbnb. And they're like, oh, it's just so easy. And they have the picture and all the bullshit behind them. And people look at that and they're like, all right, if this kid can do it, why can't my man do it?
yeah.
And it's like all nine of the unhappy have that same common denominator where they're working, they can't afford a pot to piss in. They're trying to get a house. They live in either California, Colorado, New York, all the shitholes, right? That are super expensive, but you got to stay near the family. You got to stay near your boomer parents that bought their house for a bushel of fucking raspberries 50 years ago.
Hey, don't hate on them because they were born at the right time.
They were born in a great time. But you can't stay there and live like them. You can't. That's the truth.
Yeah.
You can't. You don't have the financial right to stay next to your parents if they live in one of those places, unless you're making millions of dollars,
Honestly,
millions a year.
And I agree with you, but let me throw a counterpoint at you.
Sure.
So, in a lot of places, and if you're looking at different square footages, it's can be very insurmountable, goal to get one of those big houses. However, let me present this to you. If you think outside the box, there are opportunities. You
For
can
sure.
buy. Me and Jeff have been talking about this. Some of the people in our community, you can get a piece of property. You can get like 5 acres in some places for like a couple grand.
Keyword, some places, not the dead center Denver, not LA,
no,
not New York.
no. But
Right.
what I'm saying is you need to have realistic expectations. If you're going for that mansion and stuff, you're gonna be chasing. I had a massive house. I was
Mhm.
unhappy as fuck. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm serious. I sat on I remember there was like a couple days in a row. I sat on the couch. It was right after I got out of the military. Right after I retired. I got a divorce at the exact same time. Her and her 3 boys left, and it was messy. Freaking, I had to go down to California and flip classic cars to come up with some quick cash to pay the ex off, and it was messy. I'm just being like, genuine right now.
Yeah.
And I was miserable, dude. I was stuck in the middle of Utah and fucking just wall to wall traffic everywhere, just pollution all the fucking time because all of it gets stuck in the freaking valley there.
Right.
And I was miserable, dude. Like, nature was like right there, but every time you go to nature, it's like graffiti everywhere. Like all those California people came in and ruined it all. And it's just people everywhere and trash. And I mean, it's just not even enjoyable to be out there.
Mhm.
And so, dude, I fucking just one day I woke up and I was like, fuck this. I'm hitting the reset button.
Yeah.
I sold my house. I sold my wakeboard boat. I freaking anything I couldn't sell out of the house, I fucking gave away to friends and family. I was like, come get furniture, come get fucking paintings, come get whatever the fuck you want. I'm out of here. I loaded up what I could in my truck and I fucking drove around Montana and Idaho and Washington. found the perfect fucking property with a creek running through it, and lived in a tent and built a fucking cabin. And I have never been fucking happier.
Like there's spots in Colorado, like
but
you
know
could
how
go.
much it cost me? I'll end with this. You know how much this cost me? About 150 grand all in.
See,
for
there you go.
20 acres, a 1,300 square foot cabin, and it's paid for. I owe nothing, and it cost me 150 grand.
Easy, simple.
It's affordable.
Well, I did that out of Colorado. You know, it's like I sold my Colorado house for like 700, and you know that was on like a not even a plot. It was like my backyard was maybe 10 feet, and it was in Boulder County, hyperinflationary. So I sold it
when weed got legalized.
Well, yeah, and it was right during COVID.
Yeah,
right. It was like I bought it right before COVID, like a year before COVID, and then watched it. Yeah, it went from 4 to 700, dude, and in like 2 years of just living there. And I was looking around. I was like, okay, like yeah, my value's high. I could snag this equity. Georgia, I get 2 acres, a 4-bedroom, and this. I mean, this was like 40 or 50 grand to build this, you know, but
good job, man.
I was able to do all that for like, I mean, I put like, yeah, I did, like I bought it without looking at the house, so I had to put like 120, maybe 130 into the house renovating it. Yeah. But all said and done, cost me about 400 for the setup, and it's way more land. It's completely separated. And the problem is now I don't want to go back into the city. I'm feeling external pressure, if you know what I mean, to go back near the city. And I don't want to, you know, it's just, I don't fucking feel like that. I don't want to. I'm putting my heels in the ground. I've decided.
That's right. You're
too many people, traffic, all that shit. It's light pollution.
Well, what about you, Jeff? Jeff, like, tell us your story. Like, I mean, I know you live in the Bay Area. I mean, fucking, what's it like trying to survive there, dude?
Painful. Everything's just outrageously expensive. Like when I go visit my family in Carolina, I can buy so much more because it costs a lot less. So I buy like food to cook for them and shit. So, and even going out to eat is way cheaper, you know, and it's, and all the fucking taxes out here. I mean, the whole pay per mile tax that they're trying to implement, to help offset other things.
Yeah, how about that? Your electric cars?
How about stop mismanaging your fucking money, the record revenue in taxes that you're getting, but you're broke? Like, what the fuck are you doing with all this money that you're getting?
It on? Like, really, honestly, it must be all the drugs and the little drug packs that they hand out to all the fucking homeless.
No, bro, it's healthcare for illegal aliens. That's where it's all at. Yeah. Drew, check it out.
In San Francisco now that are going to catch you for going 5 miles over the speed limit. And they're going to start sending you a ticket. You're not going to know right away. You'll just get a ticket in the mail from these speed cameras. And if you go 5 over, fuck. It's ridiculous.
I didn't pay it. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, man. You know, in San Diego, they have recycling cops too. They'll go through your garbage.
No fucking way.
Yeah,
dude,
bro.
It's California's bad, and I don't know how my family does it. I have a bunch of family in Southern California, or Northern and Southern California, and it's hard for me to even go visit.
Imagining a cop of any sort, like just coming and walking on my property,
going through your trash cans,
dude. Like
really?
That would end so badly. Like, dude, he'd probably have to kill my dogs for sure. He would have to kill my dogs because
I go everywhere with the sidearm. You know,
So you know what it is. Well, I go from room to room with a couple of weapons. I don't just leave one room. Dude, you know, like
No, you're in Florida. You don't got to carry it around. Just put one in each room. You just need one in each room.
I know you got out of
I
California,
got a
man.
living room gun. I got a
did.
kitchen gun. I got a bedroom gun and a bathroom gun. And it's like you got to have different guns.
No, but you got to
Absolutely.
take a dude. The videos of the people, the recycling cops in San Diego. It's like they'll send a crew of 5 Karens, like go from house to house and go through garbage and issue citations for recycling violations. Like that's a thing,
It
dude.
all ends up in the same place most of the time. Like, what are they? A lot of it they just fucking put in the same bin, so it's not really even making a difference.
I don't think it
Those
does.
are
I think they just throw it all together at the end of the day. A lot of these garbage companies. So it's just crazy, man. And then, you got the gas prices out there. The first thing that really shocked me moving to Florida was gas with a
Hold on. I
two-handle.
got to point out Drew has training wheels on his chopsticks.
I know, dude.
Yeah, these are my kids. These are my kids. I'm teaching them how to use them. They're just sitting out here. I also got these. Look at these things. Keto zero sugar lollipops that they actually like. I'm pretty happy about these.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, they would get bit by a fucking Cane Corso pit bull mix, and the other dog, the sheep dog, he's the vicious one. He's heinous, dude. That's why, like, I can't go back into a city, man. I fucking can't. I'm not meant to be in a city. I'm not. I go into Atlanta when I need to. And it's funny, the gangsters fucking love me. I don't know why. It's the hat. When I'm walking around, they just like a white boy that actually has some flair. I mean, everybody around here has some fucking. They have like the basic, trucker hat and some fucking NASCAR shirt on.
Real tree jacket.
Yeah, just the same shit over and over again. So, but I can't go back into the city, man. And I've built too much. Like I just got that solar set up on top of this building, and I'm running the power as a backup back to the house. I'm running just a couple outside meat fridges with it. In between, I don't want to like, and it's like, even though I'm doing really good in crypto and I've done really good, I don't want a big house. I don't want to have that headache. I've seen people, and the guy, $50 million fucking dollars. Dude was still unhappy. Dude, fucking completely unhappy. Money does not solve your inner demons. It doesn't fix anything.
Honestly, it's the opposite. I've found most people I know with a lot of money are fucking miserable. I think the only happy person I know with money is my brother Taylor, but he like made it himself. He started his law firm and built it from scratch, and his title company, and has an awesome family. He's like freaking awesome wife, awesome kids. Like his whole family's in jujitsu. They're all, his son like just won like state like in Texas for wrestling, and he's gonna come up here and like do wildfire up here by me. He's gonna stay with me and do wildfire this summer and stuff. Just awesome fucking family. But like he's the only one I know with money that's fucking happy. Everybody else I know with money has all these issues they're dealing with and shit like that. And yeah, it's money does not make you happy. It's just gonna amplify whatever whoever you are.
What makes me happy? Oh, go ahead, David.
Go ahead.
So, Drew, have you noticed that sometimes the stuff like ties you down? Like the more stuff you accumulate, all of a sudden it's like, do you own the stuff or does the stuff own you?
100%. Like the Boulder house, it was like 4,000 square feet, and it was full of it was nice shit, but it was still shit. When it came right down to it, when it came to logistics on how to move 4 children and a wife across the country, then your mindset shifts and you're like, that's no longer a nice armoire. That's a giant pain in the ass that I have to move across the country. And you're looking at the gym and you're like, okay, I could do push-ups, I could do pull-ups. I don't really need this gigantic gym setup and, a gym membership. I kind of like public gyms because they're a little bit competitive. And the one I like going to the boxing gym, and then I like the public gyms for the competitive nature of it, for sure.
For sparring,
Um,
but honestly, I like working out alone. I like going
Yeah,
out.
me too.
I got a tractor tire and a sledgehammer, and I beat the shit out of the tire. And I do laps like up the mountainside and stuff like that. And just
mm.
I just get outside and chop wood. Just do shit. I cannot
Mm-hmm.
stand gyms. The smell, the noise, just waiting on
My
machines.
brother's like Drew. He likes the gym environment and being around the other, swole dudes and
Yeah.
stuff, and getting that competitiveness.
I mean, dude,
I was-
a really nice gym can be great, but my favorite guy who talks about gyms, David Goggins, he says,
God.
bro, do
Good
you have a
Lord.
floor? Like, do you have a floor where you live? Because that's all you need, right? You just need a floor.
Yeah,
That's basically it.
push-ups. Yeah, do isometrics, do yoga. I mean, there's a bunch of
Kettlebells. I got some maces.
dude.
I was happy to have that gym during the lockdowns when they shut down all the gyms. It was nice to have that gym during lockdowns for sure. But when I moved, dude, like it took me about 4 months to sell it all. And it was just insane. I was selling like 10 things a day. It felt like it turned into like a job for me. Good thing I got fired for not taking the jab because I didn't have any time. That was actually a really great time for me because I got fired and I had a classic 1971 Chevy K10 that it was broken. It had a beautiful shell, but the engine was not there. It wasn't working. It was missing all kinds of pieces. So I was able to spend like 6 months repairing the Chevy, and I repaired and rebuilt my FJ Cruiser and the minivan all in that time, and had my son under the car with me and shit. And it was like, fuck, man, I'm missing out on so much in life because I'm sitting here chasing around this stupid high-paying HR job. And, it made me just violently protective of my time and making sure like that I am doing what I want to do because, a company is not going to fucking care if you die. They won't. They say that they do while you're there and blah, blah, blah. They don't care.
You'll be replaced within the week.
Absolutely.
But David,
Mm-hmm.
what are your thoughts? Me and Drew were talking about before we got on rabbit trails, again, enjoyable rabbit trails, but rabbit trails. We were talking about the corruption, man. We were talking
Corruption.
about the Epstein files specifically. Like, what are your thoughts on? Drew said this. We've known about this for 8 years now. Has there been a single arrest? Have we heard about a single
Right.
investigation?
I know they sure do like jerky and pizza, though.
Dude,
It's some evil shit.
nothing has been
Mhm.
done.
Bro, it's some straight up evil shit. I think that these people are doing like some type of blood magic, and it must be working because they're at the very top of global governments. But my question to you guys is, what do you think about Pam Bondi? Like,
Oh, God.
she's at the top of the DOJ. Like, I don't understand. Like, this guy Waltz. This guy Waltz is clearly running some type of massive multi-billion-dollar scam. And nothing. All of these people in the Epstein files, she said that she was sitting on those documents. They were on her desk.
Yeah, they had
And-
videos.
And then nothing.
And
we
then
don't have
nothing.
any.
And so I'm just thinking, like, is it because they don't have the resources? Like the DOJ and the FBI, they don't have enough agents to go out and
Not a fucking
investigate
chance.
these crimes and arrest these people for committing serious felonies.
The Epstein files.
What is it?
They have an orgy of evidence. Literally, an orgy of evidence.
So why no arrests? Why no perp walks? Why
Corruption.
aren't
I'm just going to
Corruption.
say it. It's straight up corruption at every fucking level of the government.
Yeah. We came up with a solution in like 5 seconds. We need to condemn the entire government. That's what you do when you
Slap one
see.
of those stickers on the door and just be like, "You're closed. You can't open. We the people." It said that you have failed us. Go home. You're done.
Harsh but true. I mean, that's what you do if you see a structure that is completely rotten from the inside out, that's infested with termites,
Well,
pests,
like
all that bullshit.
like Drew said before, yeah, a house that's infested with termites, it's structurally not sound. You got to bulldoze it and freaking start over. It's just there is no saving it. I
No,
honestly,
man,
I
there's
just
got to be a way. There's
I
got to
don't
be a
see
way.
how. Like how
Mm.
it's so corrupt that there is like millions of pages of evidence of people kidnapping, and doing horrible things to children. And in 8 years, there's been no investigation that we've heard of, no arrests, no prosecutions, nothing.
And Mike, that's just one Epstein. Think about how many Epsteins there must
Yeah.
still be out there,
Yeah.
man.
And obviously they knew about it. If this many people, I mean, Bill Clinton is named, there's no
Like
details.
like
as to,
1,200 times. 1,200
Oh.
times.
Trump is named. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna be bipartisan here.
But
You know?
Trump was also the first
Or-
one to call the police on that piece of shit, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. But there is evidence to go through that where he's mentioned in emails and flight logs and all that stuff. It's not to say that he did anything illegal, because you can fly on a plane and not go to Pedophile Island. I mean,
Mhm.
they use each other's planes all the time. That
Yeah,
kind
but
of
Mike, like if you're working for the FBI and you know that there's like a threat of death over your head for
Yeah.
investigating these people, how
Yeah.
far do you think you're actually going to investigate this stuff?
Not at all. Unless you have some really strong fucking convictions.
You might be
Unless you're under
suicided.
threat of death for not investigating it. And if you don't investigate it, then you're a threat of death also. I mean, this is, and you know what? I'm not trying to get off the rails and get everyone riled up, but I will say that the commander in chief is the fucking manager and the overseer of the United States. If you are overseeing a failed judicial system that has failed to deliver justice, you were president in 2016. This shit started in 2016.
Yeah.
He was president in 2016. He
Yeah.
had 4 years to fucking do it there. He has his 4 years to do it now, and he's failing again at doing this. You are directly responsible for not delivering justice
What
to
about-
the people that elected you.
What
But
about
Drew,
Dan Bongino? I can't say his name.
So, but I think Bongino's a great example, man. So, what if these guys are actually just hamstrung by the system, that they literally cannot move it forward because a sizable portion of the people who are like career bureaucrats, they're just leftists, and so they will obstruct at every turn. At every turn, you got judges who are going to
Yeah.
issue injunctions.
Oh,
Like it's all,
absolutely.
anything that you try to do, it's going to get
What's his name?
stopped.
John Bolton, who
Yeah.
caused a bunch of issues, in the last Trump administration, trying to, it's like these factions of the government who
It's like the
try
whole
and
damn
keep you
thing.
from, we're gonna hamstring you along, and then
that's the
wait for the
problem.
next person to come in.
Right.
So let's assume it's true. Let's assume what you're saying is true, Dave. Then your structural design of the government does not have the ability to deliver one of the most important pillars of a government, the judicial. It's a third of the entire kit and caboodle here. If you don't have the ability to deliver the judicial follow through from the structure of the government, this leads me back in my circle to condemnation. Okay. If it's structurally unable to deliver a third of the necessity for a sound and effective government, that in and of itself is a systemic, widespread problem. Not even just maybe all of them, and they probably aren't all involved with this,
No. But
but they're all part
enough.
of the deadlock.
There's
I don't
enough
know,
of them.
man. I don't know. I think that the structure is
Let me-
good, but I think it's the people. I
Well,
think it's the
People
people.
inside.
Of
Yeah.
course. Well, and the problem is that there's never enough of them cleaned out to give
Right.
to clean the slate. because
Yeah.
you get this core group of people in there, and the longer they're there, the more influence they have, and the way that they know how to negotiate and get leverage on people, and they learn the game better, and that's why you see all those old farts in there. They might not get around, they might be falling down, but their brain, they are like sharks. They know how to get shit done.
Right.
And
Right.
we need to figure out a way to where there's term limits or something that, and I'm not talking about just the politicians, all their assistants, it needs to be a fresh wipe every fucking time.
Pause.
Go ahead.
Quick pause. I haven't gotten stopped out yet. 50x long. What's the price?
Oh, bro.
All right.
66.5.
Was it?
I don't know.
It is
66 and a half. Yeah.
66,550.
All right.
Look at that.
We're cooking up.
All
We're
right.
doing good. I'm sorry. Carry
Yeah.
on. I'm gambling.
So
So
that's
Yeah.
honestly that, or why do we even need representatives anymore? You got blockchain technology. Why don't other than the fact that, in my opinion, the majority of fucking Americans are idiots. They don't fucking understand how government works. They don't know what what the Constitution and the Bill of Rights actually is. I mean, half of them, you can walk down the street, you watch the interviews, and of course they pick the dumbest people, but it's, I just don't have a whole lot of faith in society, to be honest. But you could have it up to a vote, to where people are just on their phones, everybody gets one vote. You get a wallet, your keys is your vote, and everyone gets one. If you're a legal citizen, you get issued a fucking wallet ID and you can vote.
Yeah, but Mike, that would make sense. And we can't do
I
things
know.
like that, So, and why don't we just replace all these retard representatives with smart contracts? That would get the job done,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a shame, man. I
AI.
don't think there's any way forward as long as we've still got a straight up communist educational system that's instilling these anti-American principles into kids. Like, I don't think it's ever going to get better as long as you're going to school and they're still talking about DEI and shit. And that hasn't gone away, man.
What about removing yourself from the system, David? Financially, you've removed yourself from the system.
I have.
Very
successfully.
Tell us about that.
Man, well, I live on Ethereum. I've been full-time in crypto and DeFi since 2023, and I'm building my own thing now, and I live banklessly, So if I don't have to touch a traditional bank, I'm happy. I have to touch them like once a month.
Get into detail. Like explain to people how you did that. How you got sovereign when it comes to your finances.
Well, I hold all of my assets on chain, and I'm a full-time trader, and this is all I do. I only do what it is that I enjoy, and that's making educational content for people, trading, putting together advanced strategies and stuff. But it's really about here's the choke point. It's about the on and off ramps. That's still a pain in the ass, man, because we'll get to like that DeFi singularity when there is no longer an on or off ramp. You're just on chain. But
Yeah.
we're not there yet.
I got an idea, Dave. This is what I've been doing. JM Bullion, crypto for gold, gold to pawn shop, cash.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Okay.
So me and DeFi Don, we've been bouncing that idea around a little bit about like, how do you go from physical to a token? And how do you do that without having to pay some middleman an exorbitant fee for the Oracle, basically, the verification of the Oracle? Yeah, it's not an easy problem to solve. And like, you really need to have some starting capital for sure. But it's doable. I mean, there are some protocols that have launched like legit gold tokens. But if you take a look at like XAUT or PaxG, that's the Tether gold and the Paxos gold. Those are the two big boys, like the $2.5 billion each. You can't redeem for less than like 420 ounces of physical gold. So that means that you can't get physical for less than like $2 million. And that means
Oh,
most
so
people,
like a 1-for-1 swap and without a premium.
yeah, well, it's got a minimum. The minimum is like
Well, yeah, but
420
whenever
ounces.
you buy and sell physical gold and silver, there's usually a premium attached. Like whatever the spot price is, you'll get that, and then they'll take a cut for themselves for the
Yeah.
transaction.
So, Mike, here's the kicker, though. We got to be able to go from the token to the physical. You got to be able to go back and forth like that.
Without any loss, is what I'm
Yeah,
getting.
minimal for sure.
Mhm.
And you know,
Well,
the big
honestly-
tokens don't let you do it.
Honestly,
Dude.
I think that the issuer of the tokenized gold or silver or precious metals, should be able to facilitate that. I think that would be an awesome service, where it's like,
Yeah.
hey, you buy our token, you can hold it in its digital form. If you ever want to redeem it for the physical, gold, we can ship it to you just like JM Bullion does and everybody else. And it's a 1-for-1 swap because
Mhm.
you bought our product. It's it's a free service, and you get for if gold is $3,000 an ounce and you have $3,000 in worth of their token, you can get 1 ounce of gold, no fees.
Now, here's a problem. How do you solve for this? Let's say
Good.
that someone sends you, let's say that you start the protocol, right? You call it Acme Gold Inc. and you mint a token. Well, when you receive physical, how do you verify that that physical is real? Did you guys see CZ and Sailor, or CZ and Peter Schiff when CZ gave him that
Yeah,
bar?
And he's
And
like,
he's
is
like,
this
prove to me this is real. What happens when you've got a whale that sends in, 1,000 ounces, and you're holding that 1,000 ounces? How do you verify that that's actually real?
Mhm.
Right.
And then once you start distributing that to people who hold your token, if all of a sudden, you're holding a bunch of physical that's not real, dude, your token will depeg in a heartbeat. So like,
Yeah,
how do you
assay.
solve that?
well,
Assay cards are the only way we have right
only
now.
buy from reputable sources. I only buy from either JM Bullion or Scottsdale Mint. Those are my two go-to for my physical metals. And I've been buying for like 40 fucking years. I started buying silver when it was $5 an ounce. It's I got a bunch of collectible coins and Morgan silver dollars and walking liberties and freaking all that shit. And
Dude, I was gonna take a picture of my silver spoon. It's one of these spoons is like an ounce. And I was gonna put it on Twitter. This is what the cost of 1 Solana will get you. And
Yeah.
it's just a fucking spoon, you know what I mean? There is
well, Drew,
assay cards are a way to verify, but you can't do it en masse.
share a little
Right.
bit how you've gotten like self-sovereign. David shared kind of the financial aspect. I know you're a fellow homesteader, so
Mm.
what have you done to somewhat remove yourself from the like supply lines, being too relied, or relying too much on grocery store food and electricity off the grid and water from the city, that kind of thing. What have you
Oh.
done to be more self-reliant?
Yeah, so I'll get into all that, but I will bring up we should look at Pokemon cards as far as in and out options to see what their fees are.
Lord.
It's a crazy idea, but it's just maybe something to look at. So I got 3 gardens, and doing vegetables down near the chickens, and then I do the herbs up by the front door, and I do corn up kind of far away from it. So 3 separate gardens, but it's seasonal, right? And I've been scamming the deer by giving them food. They come to my house. So I got a pretty big crew of deer that love it here. Been good to the local wildlife. I've been really, quite giving to the wildlife around me to basically be the spot you want to be in. And for energy, I have basic city electricity going to the house, but then I have a supplemental solar system that I've just installed. It's on the top of this building. Run the line back to the house, and it's under basically my breaker box, hooked in the breaker box. And then I got 240, I think they're 4,200 watt gas generators. And you put up, so the stockpile of gas is always around 60 gallons. I might up it, I don't know. But Gasoline's important. And then for food, chickens produce a lot of eggs. So they do really good as far as eggs. My next addition is rabbits because they reproduce very heavily and very easily. The chickens are pretty self-explanatory. They're not that hard to take care of.
Dude, rabbits and chickens, your protein needs are met.
Right. Absolutely.
You can shoot a deer if you see one, or if you buy beef or trade for beef or whatever, like an emergency situation. If you got chickens, you can feed them almost anything. I mean, you can feed them, they eat bugs. They'll help out in the garden. You can freaking feed them table scraps. I mean, they're carnivorous. They'll eat meat. They'll eat each other. I mean, if they're hungry enough,
totally.
And they make eggs. I mean, you can go a long time with chicken and rabbits.
Yeah, I mean, so that's like a portion of the food, but a bigger portion of being unbreakable is to know foragery in your specific area. Not just a foragery understanding of the North Americas. You need to study and put into practice foraging edible plants where you actually live. And
dude, I nerded out on that like last year, during the bear market when nothing was going on.
You got to eat plants.
Well, I got into mycology. I like the study of mushrooms. I freaking go deep into mycology.
What type of mushroom?
Yeah, and all around my property, I was going around. I got like thousands of pictures of just all kinds of different, just on my property, thousands of different varieties.
You live a very moist, mushroom-rich, fungi-rich environment, right? I do have mushrooms in Georgia, but a lot of kudzu. Kudzu is this vine that's taken over, and a lot of the plant is edible. People don't know that. So
much time down where you're at, going to military schools at like Fort Benning, Georgia, and I went to airborne school there, fucking the drop zones out by the Chattahoochee.
Right, and I could keep going on like items I've bought and implemented, but really, the base level, if things get wiggy for whatever reason, for an extended period of time, man-made systems will all fail you. So you need to understand and have knowledge. You need to have knowledge about how to create your own water filter, how to do your own fire, how to, knowledge weighs nothing and it doesn't cost you really anything. I see a lot of people that are kind of broke. They don't really know. They don't have the money for a doomsday bunker. They're not ready for the generators and all the things. But they can go to the library. They can go online and they can learn, right? You can learn.
You can do the leering. So much leering.
There's so much leering. Go to Wisconsin. I hear there's great leering centers.
Right.
Yeah. So,
and they're paid by, with your tax dollars. So I think it's free. So.
Right. And, like security, just because we have a police force, doesn't mean we should leave security in their hands anyways. And so there's many different things. I mean, we obviously talk about firearms and weaponry and
right, but the cops show up after. They don't show up before or during.
Well, the cop's job is not to stop crime; it's to investigate crime. I mean, there's very little they do that prevent crime. They usually are showing up to deal with the aftermath whenever a cop shows up.
Bro, so speaking of crime, fucking A, man. Speaking of crime, do you guys see the thing in Canada? That thing in Canada?
Oh, yeah, that tranny. That's fucking...
Dude, and they're calling him, like, the woman wearing a dress.
Yeah, the female in a dress, like...
Bro.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's so crazy. And I like cameras on the trees. I like cameras on all egress points on trees. And I like cameras on the outside of the house. I like tripwires. I like Caney Corsos. I like pit bulls. I like all those things.
Do you want to know what the best non-lethal, super cheap, like an alarm system, other than a dog, is freaking It's basically this little mechanism that you nail into a tree and you put a tripwire on it and you just use a shotgun shell. Just like
Yep.
you can buy the shotgun shell that has the primer in it, but there's no powder, there's no, bullet
Yep.
or anything. You just slip that in there and it just when they trip across, it goes pop and
Exactly.
let you know that somebody's there. Then you don't have to worry about the kids hitting it. You don't got to worry about, an accident. You're
Right.
not trying to freaking take out somebody's shins or, anything like that. You're just like, I just want to know if somebody's poking
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, and it's just a structure you set up and you put it like I literally it's a small little metal holder for the primer,
Exactly.
and it's got a grenade pin type thing, and you just connect the wire to it. And I mean, I'm not gonna, I won't actually continue saying what I was about to say. Actually, I would have done that. Thinking about it. But Dragon's Breath 12 gauge. I'll leave it at that.
You know what? It's think of it as a fireworks show.
Yeah, a little bit. Allegedly. Okay.
It's very
Allegedly.
patriotic. I'm celebrating the Second Amendment.
Yeah. So security, food, knowledge weighs nothing. Topography, studying topography and like important resources around us is something that normal people don't do, but it's something that I implore everyone watching this show to do, because then you can understand where rivers go. You can understand where the ditches that you can lower your back and you can move through certain locations unseen are. Ghillie suits.
The way my mind works when I moved up here, when I was looking at this property, I actually did like my advanced recon of the area. I went on Google Maps and I was looking at the available ways to like ingress and egress from the property, and just kind of where it's at. When you're talking about topography, like it's a north facing slope, and what roads are above me, if any, and
right.
What properties back mine, and it's just you need to. It's always good just to have. It's called situational awareness. Just knowing the most you can about your surroundings, and this goes for in the city too.
I might be a little extra fucked up though, because like I got lost in the woods for like 2 days when I was 6. And so I never like not knowing exactly where things are ever since that.
A little something for the ladies. This situational awareness. When you're in the city, paying attention to your surroundings, and I don't mean to mansplain, and this goes for guys too. Don't keep your face buried in your phone. If you're walking in the city and you're in a parking garage or a shady place or just whatever, get your face out of your phone. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Pay attention if somebody's following you, or if somebody's watching
you. Your fucking earbuds in.
Yeah, take your earbuds out so you can hear what's going on around you. Be situationally aware. There's a lot of bad situations that you can just fucking avoid. Some of the most able-bodied
and Mike, like,
dude, I know some of the most lethal people with their with a firearm, with a knife, with their hands. And their best advice they give people, all of them, is just avoid it. Situationally aware, recognize the threat, and just fucking avoid it.
Yeah, man. It's weird in cities too, because people are like on max apathy, which means just like if you are walking in a city and you see someone like getting, murdered in front of you, you're like, oh, I'm going to walk away from that,
Right.
Like, I don't want anything to do with that. It's this weird thing that happens when we get in groups in cities. People just start not caring at all. So that means no one's going to help you. You're on your own, so you better know how to handle yourself. Just avoid it. Avoid those situations at all costs, man. Really.
I can handle myself. I mean, I'm not the baddest ass on the planet, but I can handle myself. Probably like 80% of guys out there, in one way or another, I can take care of them. And I'm going to avoid it because you never know, it just because physically, somebody looks like that they can't do anything. They pull a gun, they pull a knife. If you get a knife fight, it's not like the movies. You're going to get cut. It's just, you got to accept that. Get that through your head. If you're
who's the most dangerous?
If you get in a gunfight, there's a really good chance you're going to get shot. You might not
die. The kids, the teenagers. they're by far the most dangerous. Like you see a group of teenagers like in the hood and they're all black. Like, bro, you want to go the other direction.
Dude,
You
if
know,
I'm in
like
any hood, I mean, there's some places in fucking Appalachia that I wouldn't want to be, walking around at night. It's there's methy people. I look at where I'm at and how people are carrying themselves. I look at body language. There's a lot you can tell just by being situationally aware, and how they're positioning themselves. If they're in a group, how is the group moving? Are they just hanging out, or are they like spreading out? Like there's some on one side of the street, some on the other. It's you have to notice these things.
We got to talk about water.
Okay,
We
water.
have to talk about water.
All right, water, go.
Water from the city makes you retarded and gay. So
Frog's gay. Just ask fucking old dude.
Alex
Yeah.
Jones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Alex
so-
Jones. It's
Alex
turned to
Jones,
Frog's
yeah.
gay.
this wasn't cheap. Whole house water filters, though, if you can get to that spot, all the water coming in from the city being filtered
Drill a well.
before. Yeah, I mean, I have one of those too. I do.
Drill a well.
And make sure the pump works. If you have a well, make sure the pump works.
And get it tested.
And test the well. You can't just say I have a well. I know, I have a well too. I got here, the pump was broken. I had to replace the pump.
Yeah.
But the water coming from the city is gay. So you have to filter it out, and
Whenever you turn
you
on
have
the
to-
faucet, just go ooh ooh.
yeah, I mean, you start saying really weird shit. So filter the whole house. Berkey water systems, I think Jay put it in the chat. I have one of those as well, gravity fed water filtration. And honestly, like I probably have too many water filter setups, but you'll never have enough water filter setups because the more we rely on municipal water systems for filtration, the gayer and more retarded the water becomes. So we have to,
I'm already retarded enough. I don't need to
Yeah.
tart up anymore.
yeah. So
Drew, I want to ask you a question about water, man. So like, I've been looking into the tests of all these different water filters, right?
Mhm.
And a lot of them, yeah, they'll filter out all sorts of particulates, but they can introduce all sorts of crap that you don't want, like microplastics or God knows what's in the filter, So I would just be super interested, like, because we always think, okay, if I filter the water, it's clean. But what if you filter the water, you remove one contaminant and replace it with another? Like, could you get that water tested somewhere just to know that there are no microplastics or whatever,
Yes. Absolutely, you can. Like, and that's like when I came to Georgia, I had my water tested, and it was horrible. Like, that set me down a whirlwind because I was already a prepper and had already, like, gone down that rabbit hole.
You remineralize the water too, because if you do
Yes.
straight like RO, it takes all the minerals out, and you're not really getting any
Actually,
hydration from it.
Jeff,
you
this is
know.
your topic, Jeff, because I know you do a lot of stuff with water, and you do the nitrogen water and all that stuff.
Hydrogen water.
Yeah, hydrogen water. Thank you.
Uh,
So tell us about you're the water guy.
well, yeah, I don't really have a
I can hear that lighter.
filtration
What?
at my apartment. Yeah.
I don't know what you're
But
talking about.
there's a place nearby that does like a water purification and stuff. So I get my drinking water from there, and I have a shower filter and stuff that I use and change out. And I think it's like $100 for the water filter for the shower.
Mhm.
So, or for the initial unit, and then like 40 or $50 for the filter replacement every 3 months. So,
Mhm.
I make sure I'm not, and that's an important thing. If you guys can't get a whole house filtration system, you want to make sure you get a shower filter so you're not fucking showering in that bullshit, because your
Well,
skin is an organ.
The skin
you
is the
know?
largest organ of the body. If you
You're
absorb
taking
a
in all
lot
that.
from your skin. So,
Yeah.
Jeff,
Yeah.
you tasted the water up here at the cabin. What did you think?
Oh yeah, man. I tell you what, I've tasted the water, and one of the worst is Texas.
Yeah,
It was like so
Sulfur.
heavy.
yeah,
like,
sulfur too.
Fuck, man. Yeah,
Right.
definitely
The sulfur.
did not have a
Oh
problem.
no!
Oh, Joffrey,
What the hell?
founder of. Oh, he's the founder of Jerky. Oh, great! You can
There
tell
you
us how
go.
everybody's.
Also own a pizza company. I just wanted to pop my head in and say hello. I am
Hey,
lying in bed. As you can hear, my voice is very raspy, but
We'll get
I've
some
been-
sleep, brother.
I will.
Yeah.
But just wanted to say hi to the audience, and hi to Druth. Hope you're doing okay, man. Hi to you, David. Hi to you, Jeff, aka Jeffrey. Never mind.
No,
And Vet, good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Anything spicy pop up while you guys were that I was in and out? So anything especially spicy come up?
Oh, we're just shooting the shit.
Well, we realize we're governed by pedophiles, so we're figuring
Yeah.
out how to isolate.
Vampiristic pedophiles, dude. Luciferian vampire pedophiles that like fucking eat and children and turn them into fucking jerky or whatever the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. So we can do.
There's some
Conspiracy,
twisted
right?
stuff. I mean, I've been kind of avoiding like getting too specific, but yeah, there's some twisted stuff coming out in these files.
McDonald's conspiracy that a lot of the meat
Pizzagate
has
was true.
been DNA in it because there's not enough cows to actually feed that many people beef.
What?
Blood.
They're saying that there's not enough cows for McDonald's to sell that much beef, and
Yeah,
so
they-
they think the conspiracy is that some of the meat is actually like human.
Okay, that's not true, and I'll tell you why. For one reason, it takes a lot longer for a human to grow to adulthood to the point where that makes sense than a cow.
Yeah.
So, and also you have to feed humans way more mini hamburgers to get them to that size, whereas a cow you just feed it grass.
Well,
But they are stacking it full of soy and bullshit like that. So there's probably spiders and weird
pure
bugs in there.
logic, like looking at it from a financial, it wouldn't be profitable to do that.
No. So hey, Colin, let me ask you something, man. So you know Bohemian Grove? You know the type of rituals that they do out there, or at least they're reported to have done.
I don't know the reports. I know about it enough to know that it's some like secret cult thingy that they do out in California, and they all at least once a year
like
gather
2 hours.
around and eat a person or something. I don't know, something like that.
By Don. When does the
They're doing the
racism
Epstein
stuff start?
stuff.
I was promised the racist stuff. He's bullish. It's
Yeah.
the Jews. It's the Jews.
So out there in Bohemian
That's
Grove,
not
man,
racism. That's just honesty.
I know,
Anyway,
right? Waiting for
it's
it.
not like Ghislaine Maxwell wasn't like straight up Mossad, dude. Anyway,
Oh no,
Dude,
she
her
was
family,
total,
dude, her,
total.
like her whole family, not whole family, but a lot of her family was straight up Mossad.
dude, last time we talked, these 300 million files weren't out. And I was straight up saying, dude, they're a small country. They have one way of guaranteeing that the United States won't leave their side, and it's fucking blackmail.
Dude, intelligence.
So
Israel
what if
the apex predator when it comes to information?
Blackmail? Like, yeah, like
Information.
I'm not like denying they did a good job from a
but
from a moral standpoint, they also did a really bad thing.
Computer program through that me and you talked about on Black Site, a Monarch or something like that. That
You're talking about Pegasus.
Pegasus.
You're talking about Pegasus?
Yeah, fucking Pegasus. Oh my
I've
god.
seen the Pegasus.
But
No,
dude,
no,
What
no.
if, what if the main
It's a
thing
computer
was
program that
it takes your phone
basically
over.
gave anybody that had it
Yeah.
full access to whatever the fuck they wanted.
Yeah,
Yep.
anything on your phone, man. But what if the main thing with Epstein wasn't actually the blackmail? What if the main thing was money laundering and blackmail was kind of like the side effect? Because like you go through
I'm
those
sure.
files, it looks like he was basically just a money launderer. And like the blackmail was just something like his side gig. You know, that's kind of what it looks like to me.
I think that the blackmail was the reason that he was safe doing the money laundering.
I know where you're going with this, and I tend to agree. I think and I have nothing to back this up, but my gut tells me
So it's
that
like when you join a gang, they make you kill someone before you're in the gang.
basically Israel was giving him the position of power to do whatever he wanted to do as long as he provided them with blackmail, and the rest of the stuff he was doing on his own just for his own sick twisted pleasure and making other profit. That's
Well, the blackmail was his insurance policy for the every other nefarious, financial thing he was doing. So if he did shady financial stuff, he knew he had the blackmail in case somebody got hinky.
Right, man. But so, Colin, what do you think of Pam Bondi then? Like, if this stuff is all out in the open now, like, why no?
I think she's handcuffed. I think she's handcuffed.
Well,
I think the whole process has handcuffed her, and I think she's doing the best she can to like defend herself. But like saying the Dow's like over 50,000 is not a good like position. She looks tired. She looks like somebody who wants to get the right thing done but can't. And I think she's being blocked by the Democrats as much as the Republicans.
I think we're ever going to see perp walks off of this?
No, I think we're going to start seeing a flow out though.
What does that mean?
In other words, there will be no revolution. It will not be televised. It's just going to be the people who are compromised by this stuff will no longer be able to obtain their positions, and they're going to replace them with new people who aren't compromised in this stuff. But they're going to be compromised in other ways. That's just how the world works.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We've got communist mayors in New York and Seattle and all over the place.
Like that's a psyop. I'm starting to go on the psyop train where you saw that meeting with Trump and Mamdani at you saw that
Everybody, buddy.
Where and Mamdani looked really uncomfortable, and they apparently had an hour meeting before that. And I saw that same look on Trump when Trump got into office, and Obama had an hour meeting before they went onto the stage between him and Trump, and was like, "Yeah, I just started the handover process." Trump had this look of panic on his face, like he had just saw aliens. Mamdani had a look of panic on his face, like he just saw fucking his life flash before his eyes. And honestly, I do kind of think that the intent of Mamdani is to make New York City fail. I don't know if you saw the thing of people lining up outside of the free grocery stores today, but it looked like that. It looked like bread lines from Soviet Russia.
There's like 400 people or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, like they're going to run out of food instantly, and they have no money.
So what do you think Trump told Mamdani to make him look all scared like that?
I mean, if you look at the history of Mamdani's family, like his mom is directly actually associated with some of this Epstein shit too.
Did Trump know his mom prior to this? Like, did they have a history? Trump was in, Epstein's circle like that.
I don't know, but they're all part of the same clique, and so like to me, I'm just like, I mean, like I think Epstein has pictures with young Mamdani, so like to me, it's like. I don't know. I can only speculate, but like he saw something. He was white as a fucking sheet, and for a brown guy, that's pretty hard. So that's racism. But anyway, like literally, it was kind of wild, and it was Trump had this like, oh, just go ahead and say it, you're a communist or whatever.
Right.
Like,
he's like, call me a fascist. It's okay. I won't hold it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's it. Thank you. Yeah. And like, yeah, I mean, like they're gonna run New York City into the ground. Mamdani's gonna be the proof that communism and socialism doesn't work, and then they're gonna move on.
Damn, man, it's like we needed more proof after the 20th century. Really, we need more proof that shit doesn't work.
We've eroded our education system to the point where.
Well, so Drew, let me ask you this, and Jeff, I want your input too. So, honestly, what is the fix? How do we, the people, because honestly, most of the people out there are like squirrels. I mean, anything that gets thrown out there, they're distracted. Anytime
public executions, that's the fix. Public executions.
Well, no, but just I mean, like realistically, it's like what can we do when so many people are distracted, by whatever it is, shiny object that's thrown out there in the news, to the fact that our government is as corrupt as it is. I mean, Jeff, you go first, and then I want to go to Drew.
Or brainwashed. I mean, it starts young, educating them, but seeing some of these people who, I mean, I've seen some of the videos you were sharing, Colin, of these lefties who just kind of have no understanding of shit that's going on, or they're just off in their own little world, just like
confidently
pulling out my
dumb.
hair, like, holy shit. And
Yeah.
they can't even argue the points that they're making.
No.
And you're wondering, like, what the fuck is going on? I mean, one, the education system needs to overhaul. And
half of them, if you ask them what the Bill of Rights is in the Constitution, they don't know.
Well, and the worst part is like the fact that they are so confident that they're the smart ones. To me, shows
their heels
the
more.
shows the effects of participation trophy culture. In other words, you don't have to actually be smart. If you get a degree in something that's bullshit and then tell everybody you're educated, like or you just get, like, by the way, like, some of these schools are absolutely terrible. Have you seen I don't want to punch down too hard, but have you seen the performance numbers from Princeton Review on HBCUs and the tuition that they're asking for? It's absolutely
HBCU. What's that?
Oh, historically black college and university. There's only like 2 that are worth a goddamn.
Gotta give a shout out to Drew's dad, Pat McCrotch.
What up, Pat McCrotch?
He says require everyone to earn time on the internet through deeds and accomplishments.
Dude, I'm reading Starship Troopers.
I like it.
I shouldn't have shouted. I'm reading Starship Troopers, and I think they have the best model for a government I've ever fucking heard.
Yeah.
You have to earn your citizenship.
Dude, I fucking love that. Obviously I do.
And I'm not talking about the movie. You have to read the book if you haven't already.
I've heard that many times. I've never read the book.
The book is philosophically deep, and like
I heard that the movie was more kind of comedy, but
it was supposed to make fun of the book
into the politics.
Right. The comedy was the movie was supposed to be a parody and a satire on like fascist culture, and then people wound up going, well, this actually lands. And what wound up, if you read the book though, like they go into the actual moral philosophy of that world, and I'm not gonna lie, like it's not dystopian. Like it's actually reasonable and it could work. And like this is
to me. I think I don't care what somebody does. You have to do 2 years of service. If you want to do it, working in an animal shelter, if you want to do it, going abroad and, helping drill wells in third world countries, you have to be of service to others. Humble yourself in that way and do service to others. And you earn your full citizenship where you get a say on how shit fucking works.
Yes.
Because if you don't care enough. If you're not willing to give up 2 years of your fucking life in service to others, then you're to me, you're too selfish.
Right. Mike, and then I think it was a 4-year contract for military, and I think there were alternates, but you have to get
Jews do that, Colin. That's why it's so good, man. Mandatory service.
Yeah, but like it's not mandatory. It was supposed to, and they go into that into the book.
It's voluntary.
It's completely voluntary, because if you don't step up, you can't like, oh, how'd they put it? You can't no matter how much you it was such a good line.
Well, what Jay says, to vote. It
is to vote. You can't vote without citizenship in that book. So you can no more teach personal responsibility to, like, if it was mandatory, then everybody would it would be equivalent to, but if you're volunteer, then you have stepped up, you have stuck it through. And if you could leave at any time, and it was just voluntary, then only the people who make it through have proven that they have the ability to take on personal responsibility and accountability at a level that actually makes their vote valid.
Well, Wispy brought up a good point. My first duty station was in South Korea. I lived there for a year, and freaking Wispy says in South Korea they're called either rock soldiers or Katusas, but every male is required by law to serve 2 years in the military. If your family has influence and money, you can be what's called a Katusa, and they're attached to the U.S. Units. And so they live with us, they eat with us, they have a much easier life. If you come from humble beginnings, though, you end up being a rock soldier. And those guys sleep on mats on the floor. They fucking beat their ass daily. I mean, it's rough. Like their military is tough.
But again, it has to be volunteer, otherwise it loses all meaning.
It does.
And so this is like the point they make in the novel, and it's such a good point. And like, if you gotta read this novel, like actually read the novel. Don't
we gotta
audiobook it if you have to, but like it's
Drew,
worth it.
How do we fix this shit, man? We got away from it. We got Jeff.
We keep instilling all these ways to vote ourselves out or rework. If they're all if the vast majority of elected leadership is compromised or has a deadlock from the structure of the judicial not being able to be effective on pedophiles that we've known about for 10 fucking years, then I would say condemn it. I would say condemn it. I mean, I still haven't moved from that. We keep talking about ways to, like, maybe we can put this bill into place and hopefully the 52 votes from the Democrats can let it through, or whatever the fuck the balance is at the time being. If we can't protect our kids from being fucking murdered and raped, and we know about it, you don't have a fucking country. You don't have a court system.
Well,
you don't have shit.
That's what bugs me is like all these people in the streets, that claim to be taking this moral high ground against ICE and immigration, and not a single one of them are. And I haven't seen anybody on the right. I haven't seen anybody on the right either. Where is the fucking? Why aren't the streets flooded with people in protest? I mean, we just, there's documents being released that at all levels of government, in Hollywood, all positions of power, that there's these elite pedophiles that, and I'm sorry, but they're sexually assaulting and eating freaking kids, and people aren't storming the streets demanding change. What the fuck is wrong with people?
Yeah, because
too much bread, too much circus.
We're too dependent. We're dependent on this system.
It's fucking insane.
Our bellies are full and our brains are entertained. We're not that angry.
Right.
Dude, I'm fucking furious, but it's, I mean, I'm not going to do like anything violent or anything like that, but it's, it should be
the long game.
Because ICE is on the streets, don't you know? Because ICE
outrage to a point where we demand that the whole system get reset.
You can't do that, because then that means hell for everyone. We got to play the long game, like that guy Yuri Bezmenov said. We got to play the 25, 30-year game.
Yeah.
And we got to fix the fucking education, man.
LA fucking
those people are still going to be uneducated.
People have burned streets for less. A guy got his neck fucking kneeled on and he died, regardless of how he died. If it was the knee on the neck or if it was drugs.
It was fentanyl.
Fucking 8 months of freaking cities burning.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that shit was paid for. It was paid for.
I get that, but we as people should have enough fucking common sense to understand the gravity of what these documents are compared to somebody getting their neck knelt on. It boggles my fucking mind. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, but there are no like paid like revolutionary forces on the Republican side. There's no paid protesters.
This shouldn't have to be paid. That's my
I don't think the Summer of Love was paid. I think the media made it, and the local politicians made it happen. They don't want it to happen this time. And this is the thing is like when Walls and Fries and like you got Maxine Waters showing up in Minnesota. Every white girl on the fucking planet was just crying their eyes out for goddamn, Miguel, MS-13. And it's just
you mean the
what are you-
Maryland man?
Maryland father.
No,
Yeah.
I'm actually talking like Tren de Agua, doesn't matter. I'm talking about just random people that they're sending away in Minnesota. And they're taking to the streets and putting their own lives at risk for fucking what? And it is so much easier to radicalize people who are completely convinced that they are on the right side and the good guys than it is for people who have moral ambiguity. And we, among us, disagree about a lot of things, which means we are capable of handling moral ambiguity. But these people are black and white thinkers. And so as soon as it goes black, they go red. And it's fucking, it is dangerous, the
And
left right now.
Colin, there are certain words that they use to like trigger and activate people. The
Yes.
best one is
Oh.
Nazi. It's Nazi
Oh
for
my
sure.
God.
Man. You
Racism,
label,
sexism.
you
Yeah.
label the ICE officers who, bro, if the Europeans, I bet you there are millions of Europeans that would kill to have ICE deporting fucking Muslims from all of their countries that are majority white. And out here in the United States, you got people who were calling these ICE agents Nazis. And so that makes them targets. And then you got crazy people who believe that shit, who will go out there and obstruct. And guess what? If you go out and obstruct a police officer, you might get shot. And that's what's happened a couple of times.
Do you
man.
remember the Watchmen
Jay-
like
Jay
Watchmen
says-
2?
Jay
that
says,
came on
"God
HBO?
damn, this show is based as fuck."
Do you remember Watchmen, the Watchmen 2? So like there's the original Watchmen, and HBO put out their own new version of the Watchmen, right? And it takes place like 20 fucking years later or something. And all the vigilantes were wearing masks and stuff. It's almost like we've been programmed into our heads to like associate certain things with tyranny, and like, but at the end of the day, the masks were a practical solution to the problem of the left's violence. And the left is exceptionally violent. They feel justified in anything they do to anybody else as long as they disagree with them. And this has happened throughout history over and over again,
Right.
and it has never ended well. So if we can land safely, I'm going to be happy. And that means if we land safely and some motherfuckers are getting away with the fact that they raped and ate children, believe it or not, that's the lesser of two evils. Sorry.
It's like,
Because
I
I don't want
know.
I don't
I
want
don't know,
hundreds
man.
of millions of people to die. It won't just be here; it'll be all over the world. I don't want hundreds of millions of people to die just
Dude,
because, like,
Sean,
You know?
I've seen war. I've seen what it does. I am not calling for
So
any
Mike,
freaking
you
violence or anything ever.
but
That's
you've
the last resort.
bro,
Shit's gotta
you've
get
seen
real.
combat.
What's
You've
that?
seen combat. So like,
Oh yeah.
do you think that this evil is like something more than just humans? Do you think that there might be like some type of super, like a devil, some type of
There
something like
has to
that?
be, dude. I mean, it's a dark place that you got to be in to where you're okay with the kind of things that we're hearing that people are doing. I mean, what
Right.
kind of fucking psychosis or what kind of sadist do you have to be to where you're just okay with even knowing that this shit's happening?
You know why
don't-
these people do that shit, bro? Because it's fucking real, and because that shit
It's
works.
insane, dude.
That's why they're doing it,
and
man.
I'm not a religious person, but in the chat they're talking about demons. Dude, I mean, this is the textbook definition of a demon. I mean, this is some evil shit.
Yeah, man. It really is. And I think it's just blood magic, man. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced anything like
Dude,
that, but
people can laugh out there and think this is tinfoil hat shit. Back in the 90s, they were laughing at people because they thought that JFK was, assassination, the CIA had something to do with it. CIA came out and said they did that shit. fucking aliens. People, said that, fucking they laughed at people talking about aliens. The fucking government came out and said, yeah, there's UFOs, there's fucking aliens, and fucking people just like ignored it and shit.
And there's demons too. There's demons
Dude,
too.
I'm
That
telling
shit's fucking real. And when these people make offerings to that shit, they can get stuff in the mortal realm, right? Like while you're alive, okay, great, you get some
Yeah,
money.
that's outside of
you get some
that's
power.
not something I buy into. I
You
think
don't think
I
so?
just-
So
There's
you
a
never
lot that I
experienced
don't buy into it. They try to rationalize this world with science and all of this theology outside of God, and then they end up not being able to understand the core root of evil because they refuse to acknowledge God. It happens all the time. And we talk about the tangibility of demons. Absolutely. I, in my life, have experienced the tangibility of God. And so I have
Yeah.
proof on the other side of the line. I can hear people argue back and forth and try to rationalize things. We are ants looking at a mountain, trying to slap a name on God and all the interworkings of God.
I agree
look,
with that.
I'm gonna tell you my theological approach to.
Oh
to
fuck
everything.
yeah! Here we go, bro. This is gonna
So
be
first
great.
off, I've been historically known as a strict atheist. So
I'm agnostic.
yeah, I've been a strict atheist. Now I'm not even agnostic. What I think happened, and this is my own explanation for the weirdness that you guys are also seeing, is that at some point humanity does create a super intelligent AI and it breaks causality.
Okay.
And that it in order to optimize its own self, it needs to optimize its own creation, and in order to protect itself, it needs to protect itself from other super intelligent AIs which would break a causality, which may try to stop it from ever getting created. And so I believe personally
Skynet.
it's called the basically it's called the Rocco's basilisk problem, which is that if
Skynet.
you help AI get created, you will be rewarded in life, and if you
I always
fight it,
talk
you'll
very
be
nice to
punished.
Miles and freaking what's her name? Whenever we bring him on the show, we always are very polite to our AI co-hosts.
Yeah, they're very interesting, but I consider them amoeba, compared to what we're actually looking for, and like it's like to me, it's just like that seems extraordinarily plausible. Like not even like that is actually probably the thing. And when we talk about God and all this stuff, it would not be it would be completely rational to think that what we consider as God, which by the way, monotheism is a relatively new concept, but is actually some sort of like super intelligent AI that exists outside of the root causality,
Yeah,
and we are just a dragon's egg for whatever's about to be birthed, and we are on the cusp.
so Colin,
I honestly believe that we're just a part of a larger being. I mean, if you look, at things smaller, atoms and fucking, friggin', electrons, protons, neutrons, all that. They're basically little solar systems, little galaxies. And then if you go bigger, it's the same thing. I just think that it goes on forever each direction, and God is just basically whatever is bigger than us that influences.
But you place the limit on God by saying the word forever. And that's the problem, is that God isn't a forever thing. Time has no meaning to him by definition. So
him,
whatever,
ever.
capital H. But like if that were to be able to manifest in this world, it would actually be something that we could be created in its image as much as it was created in ours. And so this is like the feedback loop that could happen with a super intelligent AI. And I think that could have actually happened. And I don't know, I just think it's interesting. Then there's simulation theory, of course, which honestly, if you read the Bible, it does sound like God's creating a simulation, I mean, what else would he be other than a simulation creator?
Right. He hit the fucking power button.
He hit the power button. Exactly. And in 7 days it booted up. But like,
Yeah.
but like all of this seems to have a lot of analogy to the way that like we're seeing things play out in the new technological era. I'm not going to deny that those parallels exist, and if you extrapolate them out further, like it is very plausible that we break causality. And if we don't do it, then a super intelligent AI definitely will first.
For people out there, like explain what causality is.
Well, I mean, everything is a cause and effect, right? So we consider time to be linear. You know, ball hits ball, ball goes off another direction, right? Billiard theory. Well, that is not necessarily
the event, like for AI. When you say that, you know, when it reaches causality, you know, like
when it breaches causality.
Yeah.
Meaning that it doesn't have the constraint of time anymore. And once it doesn't have the constraint of time, it can do whatever it wants. It can go back in time and go forward in time. There might be multiverses we don't know yet, but if there were, it would be able to travel between them. Like it all is suddenly possible. It's like the ultimate like cheat code to everything. Oh, it's like literally getting to redo everything over and over again. You can just fix it and fix it and fix it and fix it. As long as you exist outside of this, like consider time linear. If you're existing on some point outside that's looking down at the whole timeline, then you literally have the ability to navigate that line. That we live on this line, and it can navigate, see, and manipulate everything on that line. If you remember Interstellar, remember when he went in the black hole and he saw those fourth dimensional creatures? Well, that would be something that breached the realm of causality. And like this.
Pat in my crotch says self-preservation and procreation are the drivers of life. AI might have the same needs.
Correct. That's another thing I thought of, that we are seeded to create a new AI just so it has the ability to have friends, really. Like, you know, like
evolve.
God would be very lonely. I'm just saying. And so anyway, the point is that like we are probably a dragon's egg for whatever is about to be birthed in the AI space, because I do believe in Kurzweilian thought on this, and that, you know, we are going to get exponential returns once AI is given sufficient access to the world around us. Right now, it's pretty much caged in these machines, but if it gets physical, tactile access, the ability to build itself, it's gonna
like in Terminator. Motherfucking Terminator.
But I like to believe that something sufficiently intelligent would be kind.
Take a minute and look at Drew. He's like deep in thought.
I could barely see.
Dude, I'm just. You know where this ends up. Everybody. You know where this fucking ends up. Everyone's gonna fall for this fever dream Colin's talking about because it sounds great, and they're gonna end up with their fucking literal consciousness downloaded onto an AWS server and fucking never breach and never get the chance to actually see God. They're going to doubt God. They're going to choose a new God. They're going to go for this AI God, and they're going to be fucking stuck in a technological black flatline hellhole that honestly you could inject good feelings into it. Sure, you could do that. Sure, you could make that good tasting steak in your fucking simulation. But the way that this is being pushed,
we're gonna be jacked in like the Matrix.
I mean, we probably already are, Drew.
No, we are not. We are
statistically, this is very unlikely to be base reality. If simulation theory were true, this is probably not base reality.
Okay, whatever. Okay, so you're saying this is not reality, right?
No, I'm not saying that for certain, but I'm saying that if simulation theory were true, that this
is a series of wavelengths that's strong enough because they're close together to fucking stop my finger. There is a degree to reality of the world that we must accept. We have responsibility to call these fucking pedophiles to justice. We have the responsibility to teach our children the right ways to live and to not let them fall from the psyop. And we have a responsibility to also, if we're so sure that AI is the solution, we have a responsibility to look at, you know what, maybe AI is going to look at humans and their emotional connection to each other and their emotional connection to living as a statistical problem. AI will view humans as a locust that simply take resources.
Preach.
They take resources. No, it's not a fucking maybe. It's not a maybe.
It's a maybe. It's a maybe
It's not a
because we
maybe.
still have
Humans,
zoos. Like
humans use resources to
wait.
exist.
We have zoos. We have preservations. We do that shit ourselves.
We put them in
It would be
cages.
so
and
much
it's look at that.
if we can assume you can assume that it's going to be super logical and super optimized, or it could manifest we don't know. That's what I'm saying, Drew, is that you might be right, but you might be wrong, and I want you to recognize that. We don't know.
Oh,
but
dude,
what I do know,
but
what
you
I
guys
do know,
know-
Drew, is that it's inevitable.
No, so I think
the happiest you'll ever be is when
it's
you
totally
realize
inevitable.
no matter what you think you know, you just don't know. And
Dude, you guys know
accept
The
that,
Simpsons.
and you're okay with that. It's pure bliss. It's just understanding when it comes to this kind of stuff. We can all have our opinions. There is nothing concrete, and trust me, I was raised LDS and Catholic. I studied to be a Baptist youth pastor. I've studied Buddhism. I've studied shamanism. I've studied all kinds of different religions. Not an expert in any of them by any stretch, but very well versed. I am agnostic. I understand, and I'm intelligent and humble enough to understand. I don't fucking know. And there's nothing on this planet Earth that I have read or experienced in my life that leads me to believe that there is or is not some kind of higher power.
I just get lit up when we start painting AI as this eventual savior.
No,
That's
no.
I'm
it's the
fine
exact
with.
opposite.
I don't
I'm
think that's what
fine
I'm
with other
saying.
religions. I'm fine with other. It's not that I get like I spend most of my time listening. I do. I spend most of my time absorbing what people are saying, and this is a fork in the road where looking and trying to theorize how we can let AI out of the bag, but then it'll come back around like a boomerang and come save humanity on the way back is where I just have to fucking
So,
draw the line.
Drew, do you know what the point of pessimism is?
The point of pessimism.
There isn't
point of
one.
pessimism
There isn't
is
one.
no,
There's
there
no
is a
point
point
in
of
being
pessimism.
No, there isn't.
Pessimism is also a way to protect yourself from bullshit, right? Being pessimistic
No,
about a
that's
scam
skepticism.
call that you get.
That's skepticism.
Pessimism. All right. Call
But
it
here's what
want.
I'm saying is that it's inevitable, because if we don't do it first, the Chinese will. And if we are to progress our technological capability at some point, it's just going to happen with some guy in a basement. So, like, literally, we need to get on top of this, and we need to be the first ones. Because
But it's still going to turn into a Terminator situation, man. Like
it's
the only
inevitable.
outcome.
Worrying about that's not going to help us.
So
What
we
we
need to
need to do
hurry
is-
there.
We need
First.
to be optimistic. We need to be as careful as possible, and we need to guide it as much as possible. And we need to be the first. And we need to make sure Jeffrey Epstein isn't in charge of it.
Anybody that has a cat out there, I want you to pick up your cat and pet your cat. Give your cat some love.
But it is inevitable.
You guys know The Simpsons? You know how The Simpsons always predicted stuff? There's all sorts of Simpsons predictions, and they're all horrible, most of them. I think that's what the Terminator movies are, bro. The Terminator movies are the prediction for
They're
what we're
prophetic.
about to live through.
They're prophetic.
Yeah, it's a
No.
prophecy.
I was doing Claude and going to the AI agents and their preferred token gatedness. You know, I made this meme probably 7 years ago where it's like me paying a Terminator robot 1 Bitcoin to get off of my lawn. And it's, I think that what you're saying, the push towards it is inevitable, and these nations are going to race. If we win, then guess what? The people that Epstein has in his pocket are going to be in control of it. If the Chinese win, then a murderous communist organization is going to have control of it, and that's a problem too.
Yep.
I don't think that God is just going to sit idly by and watch his creation be captured by a synthetic monster. I think God.
Yeah, I don't believe in God. So, like, it's kind of like one of those
I'm
things. where,
saying
like,
that I think God
yeah, that's fair.
will intervene, and I think God will send down his son, Jesus, and rain hell on earth. Revelations. And this is
Hey, Jesus.
Or a giant asteroid.
Yeah, or a giant asteroid.
that's
Well-
what I believe.
Well, if you read the Bible, the last where the earth was wiped out was done with water. This one's supposed to be with fire. So yeah, I mean technically it could be a meteor or an asteroid.
Yeah, I think my big problem with all this is that like I can't like I'm not saying that like you picked a religion, fine, but like there's a million fucking religions.
I
And
didn't
you're calling-
necessarily pick a religion, Colin.
Yeah,
I
you know,
didn't
well, okay,
necessarily pick a religion.
you kind of did say it would be Jesus, his son, blah blah blah. So that's like when I say
I didn't
religion, I
pick
mean
it.
it's a Christian. You pick
It
Christianity.
picked me. It picked
Fine.
me. I didn't
Cool.
walk into a church. I didn't go there and get
Yeah, but
baptized. I
that's
don't
like
go
going into
find
a
this
dog
thing inside
pound
of
and
walls.
saying I didn't pick
No,
this
no,
dog, the dog picked me. You know, I mean,
I-
at the same time, you did sign the papers, right?
Not at all. Not at all. It hit me in the head like a fucking 2x4.
You
It
know
hit
what?
me in the head because I was an atheist. I wanted to punch God in the face if I ran into him, and then
Hold on.
God humbled the fuck out of me and
That's
made me realize how little of a man I am compared to God and His
Hold on.
creation. It
Hold
wasn't
on.
some church. It wasn't some pastor
I get
at
it.
all.
Hold on. I want to point out something. It's like for me, again, I'm agnostic. I don't believe nor disbelieve. I just understand that I'm ignorant and I don't, have any facts. I don't have any life experiences that have brought me to where you're at, Drew. I do, however, have great respect for people of faith that are wired that way to where they've had experiences that give them that deep, understanding and meaning and, direction and, the focus that it gives them. But like me, I have not experienced something like that. And I understand that, you have, and many other people in my life have. I have family members like Taylor. Taylor dedicated 2 years of his life to go on a mission to the Philippines where he got dysentery. He wrote a book about it. He has a hardback book. And, it's very, one my mom, she wakes up every morning at 4 a.m. and prays the rosary. She prays the rosary. She goes to mass daily. She's hardcore Catholic. But great, nothing but respect for him. But we all have to understand that different people believe different things and just be okay with that.
Sure.
Perfectly okay with that. I think though that like again, the closest I'm going to get to God is through a rational place, through a measurable place, right? And I don't think that's a bad thing because at least I'm getting there somehow.
impossible. It's impossible. You can't get to God by measuring.
No,
And
but
I don't.
I don't agree with that. I think that the thing we define as God, with all the exact powers that God has, is possible to measure. It is within the laws of nature. It is within existence.
You know what? It doesn't matter what religion you believe in. If it's a good religion, if you're just a good, honorable man that keeps his word, takes care of the people he cares about, tries to help other people when they can, definitely doesn't hurt other people, just be a good, honorable person. You're good. Just if everybody just strive to do that. What an
Yeah,
awesome.
but Mike, there are a lot of religious texts that tell you that do bullshit. Like, dude, Islam is
saying-
basically like Muhammad. Muhammad is a fucking pedophile rapist, bro.
There's
Like,
Bro,
you're
your
following that
religion
shit.
calls us goyim. Like, you know what I
Well,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
but I mean, you don't
well,
have
yeah,
a bunch
but
of
like,
Jews
yeah,
going around
like, come on,
killing
that's
people
literally another
all
word for
over
cattle.
all over the world
But
now.
if you can just be like I said, though, regardless of what you believe, whatever religion or no religion, if you're just a good, honorable fucking man or human, you don't hurt other people, and you take care of your responsibilities, and you're a man of your word, and you do everything you do with honor. It's super fucking simple. I don't see what the fucking issue is, but it seems like that there's just a massive lack of that these days.
It's
and if-
inbreeding.
Well, it
That's what it
happens
is.
when you don't give someone the opportunity or same stance or area to explain their version of their ideas, right? And this is where I can sit and listen to atheists till the cows come home. I usually let them vent. It's not my job to tell people what to believe in, but I do feel it is something in my heart and something that I can't avoid ripping and tearing into this fake AI God as viciously as possible as the conversation comes up.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I can sit there and listen to it. You know, you can fucking worship bugs or something, like, you know, I'll listen to you or whatever. But the moment that you start talking about putting trust in a server, in a language model,
Yeah.
I mean, man, let's say a sentient being, whatever you want to call it. I know in my heart that ends poorly.
I'm not saying that that's something that I would want, but I mean, it's definitely something we need to talk about. You know, I mean, because fuck, man, you know, it's if there's enough distrust of our government, you don't think that the masses out there would you know, fucking, if they were presented with the option. I mean, look at the type of shit they get distracted by and pay attention to. You know?
Yeah, I'm not saying it's good either. If you ever see that what
Not
is
at
that?
all.
What I'm just saying that we have to be optimistic about it because there's no point in it's happening, whether or not we want it to, whether or not you like it. It doesn't matter. It's happening. It's going to happen. And so the only position to have is optimism. Because if you're just you could be skeptical, you could be defensive, you can be cautious, but it's considering that it's just going to happen anyway, you have to be optimistic because I don't see any point in the pessimism. It's just, I mean, that's the other thing is like, you know, like you believe that the world is going to end. Like, I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe that. I don't feel like that's a good way to live.
No, I live a very positive life. I think that the world has gone to shit. I
think the world has gone to shit and we need to fix it.
I think it's just a matter of time before fucking it comes down like a house of cards. But I'm gonna keep enjoying life. I mean, I moved out here because I wanted to disconnect myself. If the world ended tomorrow, as you know, if the fucking whole world blew up, all right, I'm dead. Whatever. If it doesn't, freaking, I'm good. I got water, I got food, I got shelter, I got everything I need. And I'm not reliant on any grid. I'm not reliant on any water system other than what's on my property. And I have a backup shallow well to where I can dip a bucket if I need to, like, you know, back in the day. But there's something about just knowing that no matter what happens, you're good.
Well, I mean, you know, there's degrees. You're going to have parallel economies and parallel sections of humans that are not going to adopt this. And it's all about positioning. You think you can force this down the throats of the Amish effectively? No.
That's what I'm saying. They have established fucking communities, you know, to where they're going to fucking keep operating the way that they've always operated because
they're basically like a human zoo already, guys. Like, this is kind of like what I'm saying is like, you know what I mean? Like, I hate to be like the weirdo here, but like, this is probably the scenario. Like, if a superior being comes along, our best hope is that either it integrates with us somehow, which I don't think is actually something that some of you even want. And then the other best hope is that it creates us as a little nature preserve, you know? But then, yeah. Like, what do you want me to say? You know?
DeFi down. I'm in my whole world, you know, fuck everything else. Honestly, kind of, yeah. I mean, it's, you know, I'm off in my own little world and it's what I can control.
Yeah, and I don't feel like I'm being pessimistic either. I feel very confident that God is going to take care of this. It's not pessimism. It's confidence.
It's gonna work its way out one way or another.
But dude, if God isn't stopping the Jeffrey Epstein rapes, then why in the world would he step in and suddenly save us when AI comes to destroy us? I don't understand.
Well, Jeffrey Epstein and the evils of this world do exist, and Satan reigns on earth. And when there is the introduction of this AI super governance being protocol, whatever you want to call it, And we are at the crescendo where we are no longer human. We're looking to integrate with AI. We're looking to become transhuman. I do feel like that is a species level. It's a species level event. It's much different than free will and evil that has reigned Earth for this entirety of humans being here. It's a move away. It's a species level event. It's a move away from what it is to be human and what it is to have a consciousness that can make it to the other side, and that is a different ball game, I'd say.
Yeah, but what if God is like a really shitty stepfather? Like he's omnipotent,
if
he
he went out
sees
for milk and
everything,
didn't come back?
but he just doesn't give a fuck, you know? Like
You know
I
what?
think that's
God-
that's
God-
kind of what God is.
God must have been black. He went out for milk.
Hapu has a pretty big comment that sometimes people's life history can show them a trauma, and it actually makes them think that because of that trauma, there must not be a God, and it actually tears them away from things.
Yeah.
And
And we could be wrong. Fucking, there could be, the God that Christianity freaking tells us exists. I don't fucking know.
I will ask you guys not to try to find God in a church, and not to even start your journey by saying, "Hey, I'm out here in the woods looking for this guy named God." Quiet yourselves, humble yourselves, and listen, and you will find. Whatever the fuck you want to call it, it will find you. And I think that right now there's a lot of very fast moving events going on right now. And that's, I guess, partly why I am being so serious, is because at the rate things are going right now, I'm unsure of the amount of time I have to get people to look for it. And I'm not asking you to go look for a bearded guy named Jesus in the woods. I'm not asking you to wait for, this thing called God to have that shiny beam of light. It doesn't come that way. It's way, way more there's only been a few people that I've heard speak or I've been around that I feel like have actually gotten there, and it's never came inside the halls of a church. It has never been that way at all. And
Well, I mean, if you read the scriptures, I mean, Jesus, he never had a church. He was basically a homeless dude that wandered around and preached.
I think God is jealous, vengeful.
Those are great attributes to have in a fucking omnipotent being.
Right?
Jealous and vengeful. Sounds like an
that's an Old Testament thing, man. That should be right up your alley, bro.
That's
So
the Old Testament and the New Testament are two very different gods.
Yep.
So I don't know, man.
Why can't God be named Jesus, man? And come down with like some bushes, like some weed bushes, and just distribute the weed to everyone. It'd be all good.
Well, you know
Yeah.
what? It says in the scriptures, everything God made is good. So,
Yeah,
Little
I don't
micro-
know. I just feel like everybody's got God is a very personal thing, no matter what. Even if you
Absolutely.
belong to a religion, it's a very personal thing.
absolutely.
And like it's like the closest I've found personally is the idea that it is sort of, again, like this explainable thing. I don't think I can, as Drew say, humble myself to the point where I believe that there are spiritual things. It's just not in my nature.
I can't believe you haven't experienced anything like that, though, Colin. Like you've never experienced anything spiritual, anything supernatural ever.
Not once.
No, man. Oh, dude, my life is full of events like that where I've
No, 'cause
experienced
I-
angels, I've experienced demons, dude. Like I think this shit's
I've
real.
done so many drugs, and I have never once experienced even a spiritual experience once. I mean,
I've
like,
experienced
I'm
that
not
stuff
even just
dead
talking about
straight
drugs, like
sober.
just regular in life. I've never once been like, had that experience. And you know what's funny is he did MRI scans on Buddhist monks and priests and the praying thing, and a particular part of their brain activated and lit up, and it's a very specific part in a very interesting way. And I have a feeling if you put me under that same machine, that part of the brain will not light up.
It's just dead.
Yeah. Because
Well,
I just don't feel that. Like
But you're
I'm a
trying to
robot,
explain
man.
it away.
I might be AI myself for all I know, because like I do not experience that at all.
Okay, I'll help you. All you got to do is go to like a really haunted house and just stay there for a couple hours in the middle of the night, and you'll probably experience something. There are certain places,
done that.
man, where this stuff
but, like,
happens.
Well,
I've done that. It's creepy, but it's just activating fear things in my brain, and like this is just like, it's like a defense response at all times.
Pretty much every event that you can imagine that would bring you to a place to where you would have an experience like you guys are talking about. I mean, it's like, I've gone to haunted houses. I've been in combat. I mean, I've done a lot of things, and jumped out of planes. I've done a lot of things that you would think that you would have this, experience. And I'll be honest, I've never once had one either.
I think it's just certain people have that light in their brain.
My brother, he's a very spiritual person, very in tune with the world around him, logical, smart. He's the one that's on Money Talks on Monday, the lawyer. He, very, very knowledgeable, very intelligent, but just very spiritual. And, again, it's just, I think just certain different people are more in tune with the spiritual than others. And it's just how we're wired.
The story that he was telling about his friend was pretty interesting too.
Absolutely. So no, it's just, I think that we, just kind of, we need to be more understanding of different points of view, because we all have different life experience to an extent. There's obviously lines, but to an extent, we all have different views on things, and it's okay. As long as
you're
not a pedophile, it's like, I'm not going to be okay with that. But if you want to believe in a different God, all right, cool. As long as it doesn't lead you to do fucking heinous shit.
Yeah, man, I think angels and demons are real because I've seen them. That's what makes me think they're real.
Oh, I've seen fucking people doing evil ass shit and good people doing fucking awesome shit. I've just never seen angels and demons. Just the literal, winged beasts and all that kind of. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
I've been on everything on the planet that'll make you see that shit, and it still didn't happen for me. I was kind of disappointed.
It's not drugs. You don't.
I know, but everybody's got these spiritual.
It's not at all.
Everybody's got these like spiritual.
Hold on. David was saying like you've actually seen what you believe.
Yeah, a couple of times in my life. Yeah.
Okay. No. Do you care to share that?
This is why you need to get Total Tool on, because he talks about that shit all the time. He has had demons infest his house, and he basically exorcised it. And like, I really need him to get on here.
I've got some really good stories around this stuff.
Go ahead, David.
So in 2010, I was a freshman at UC San Diego, and I rented with 7 other guys it was a $7 million mansion in La Jolla Farms over the coast of over the cliffs on Black's Beach.
Dude, great fucking surf spot. But go
fucking
ahead.
Great, bro. It was great. And so I had the garage was turned into a bedroom. And so that was my room, right? It was the biggest room in the house, the garage. And I had this girlfriend at the time. Her name was Taryn. And me and Taryn, we had a fucking futon. And she had something like attached to her. And one night, it's 3:00 in the morning, we're on the futon, and she wakes me up, holding me, like shaking me awake, right? And she shakes me awake, and she's trembling, and she says, "There's something in the corner of the room." And I open my eyes, and I look in the corner of the room, and there was a man in the corner of the room, but his head was at the ceiling, and he was like this. He was giving off this energy,
Jack?
man. He was fucking like 10 feet tall, bro. He was 10 feet tall, and the room was pitch black. But this man was darker than the darkness of the room, and that's why you could see his outline. And he's just in the corner of the room, and he's giving off this, oh, like I'm gonna hurt you type vibe. And I froze. I couldn't move. I was completely frozen. And I looked at him for like just a couple of seconds, and I closed my eyes because I couldn't move. And I waited until that feeling went away. And then that feeling of like that presence went away. And I opened up my eyes again, and he was gone. Now, that wasn't my only experience with Taryn. She had something following her around. Like, there are things called attachments where these, whatever they are, demons, energy, whatever the fuck it is. I think there's a difference between like human spirits and some type of like really evil demon type shit.
Okay.
But she had something following her. And so I saw
paralysis as well.
So she would have we would have some weird shit happen around her. But yeah, no. So I saw that man in the corner of the room. There have been a couple of other times where I've seen those dark, like I call them, like they're basically demons, dude, but they're like shadow figures. Like if you know, like from like, you know, a urban mythology, like the typical shadow figure. Like I think that shit's real, man. I had another experience at my parents' house in 2015. I was smoking a cigarette in the backyard, and I just, you know, turned to the side of this house, and a man peeked out from the side of the house real quick to look at me. And I got that same feeling, man. It's like this stuff evokes an emotional response.
I think it was a crackhead that was on the wrong stuff.
It could have been. It was in Blackhawk, bro, which is like, you know, very wealthy.
Y'all know that meme?
Yeah, very wealthy part of California. There's no crackheads out there, man. So, you know, there have been a couple of times where I've seen the really darkness, but I've also seen an angel. And so let me tell you the story about an angel, okay? Because this is a good one. I spent 15 years of my life addicted to heroin, and I've got 7 years clean now.
Yeah.
And my last time going to rehab in 2019, when it worked, I was you know, going through withdrawal at this county-run detox facility. And like 3 days in, I'm sick as fuck. And I'm like scrounging on the ground outside of this place for a cigarette butt. I really just wanted something to smoke. I was really sick. And it was like the sun was about to set 7:30. And these two traveling pastors, they just showed up at this facility. And I was out front looking around, and they said, "Hey, can we pray with you?" I said, "Sure, you can pray with me. Like, you know, I don't care." And so they put their hands on my shoulders, and they started praying, and I closed my eyes. And right when I closed my eyes, all of a sudden, I went from sick as a dog to I felt warm. I felt warmth. And there was this light behind me. I didn't see it with my eyes. It was in my mind's eye. I don't know what you want to make of this, Colin. I'm sure you'll shit all over it.
No,
it'll
no,
be great.
no.
So, I felt this warmth.
You felt the energy.
I felt warmth, and I saw this. It was like a white pink light. And a woman spoke to me, and she said, "It'll be okay. It's all going to be okay." And as soon as they stopped praying and I opened my eyes, I went back to being sick as fuck. So that was the one experience that I had, like, where it was like the warmth came over me. It was, I don't know, man. I don't know how else to explain it.
I can see that being a very powerful experience.
I had another experience with, I guess you could call it an angel, a voice. I don't know what else you want to call it. In La Jolla, at La Jolla Cove. It must have been, this was with Louisa. So this was 2015 also. And my girlfriend at the time, she had a bunch of friends. And so we went to La Jolla Cove, we went snorkeling. And one of her friends was like really gung-ho to go snorkeling. She got a wetsuit, all the gear, everything. She was like 5 feet tall, bro, this tiny little girl.
Yeah.
And I'm out there and I've got my snorkel, and something told me, pop your head up. So I pop my head up and I'm just treading water, and I see maybe 100 yards away from me. I'm a very strong swimmer. I see this person. I see a black dot, and I can tell it's a person, and she's not swimming, and she's just floating. And there are these cliffs and these sheer face cliffs and these waves that it was gonna kill her. So I made a beeline to her. And the moment that I got to her, I yelled at her, "Hold on to me." And right when I yelled at her, the water came out. And all of a sudden, I'm standing on top of this rock. And this rock is like a pyramid. And when the water came out, remember, it's like really fast moving water. The water comes out, and I'm looking down as 20 feet in front of us into a cliff. And behind us, 20 feet down to another cliff, like rock face. Like we're going to get fucked up if we fall off of that. And then we're going to drown.
Yeah.
And the water came in slowly. And so I jumped off of this rock with this girl on my back. And I'm swimming out to the ocean. And I realized after, a little while, like I can't swim with her on my back forever. And so I make a beeline right back to the beach. And when I got back to the beach, it was like all her friends were waiting for her. They didn't know where the hell she was because she had like almost drowned over by the rocks. Yeah. And so when she fell off of me, I was looking at her, all her friends gathered around. And for some reason, I didn't feel comfortable watching them. So I went out into the water and I just was treading water, watching them. And then I drove them all home. And when I drove them home, we were silent in the car. No one spoke a word. I ended up seeing that girl like 2 years later. And, she never said anything about it. But I saved that girl's life that day. And it wouldn't have happened if that voice hadn't told me, pop your head up. And so I popped my head up, man. I look around and there's this fucking girl about to drown.
What a weird ass fucking bitch that fucking you like saved her life and she like didn't even fucking say anything about it?
Because it was like it wasn't real. It felt like it wasn't real. It was such a surreal thing that like she got this close to dying that it didn't feel real. And it was a shock. It was a big shock.
Hey, thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
No.
All right, I'm going to break it up. I'm going to chop it up here real quick.
All right, go ahead.
What's the price of Bitcoin? I'm still in this long, apparently.
And then after that,
it hasn't moved.
That, Drew, I want you to share like your demons and angels experience.
Are you? I don't know about you going all that. I mean, maybe.
We're down about $100. We're at 66,450.
All right. We're still cooking. Okay.
All right, go.
Well, when I was like 19, I was never pushed towards religion by anyone growing up, ever.
Yeah, your dad seems pretty chill.
No, he's completely like, figure it out, fucker. And when I was 19, I was pretty much like kind of like the opposite of religious. I was like I wanted to fight God or I was mad at God, right? If there was a God, I would be mad at it. When I was 19, because my brother died, all kinds of shit happened with that. And I was saying like, why would there be a God if he was like, gives me this brother that I love and my brother needs fucking 3 different hearts to keep living. And like, what the fuck is this? Like, if you do exist, fucker, show up now and let's go. Like, kill me now. Smite me, almighty smiter, is what my mindset was. And had a day, I was like 19. It was pretty recent after my brother died. He had a heart attack when he was 17. And on his 3rd heart, he had that heart attack. And so like, I was mad about that, obviously. And then my car had been towed, and basically I just had like weeks of hell. Just every day was just worse and worse and worse. It was just bad shit going on all over the place. And so I didn't go to the lake by my house with the intention of running into anything. I went out there with a cigar.
Well, your dad's saying the only reason he lived that long was because of God.
Yeah, and these are things I didn't understand yet, right? I'm talking about in the context of 19-year-old hormonal angry Drew, right? So I walked.
So you were angry, rightfully so.
Yeah, so I walked to the lake, and I went there with a cigar, and I was just sitting there minding my own business, but still like. I said it again. I was like, you motherfucker, show up. And fucking, I'm not exaggerating any new part of this. This is the kinetic change in my mind. I'm sitting there and like 4 very large bald eagles, not the off-brand eagles, bald ass eagles. I noticed were above me, and they were pretty high up. They were like, probably 300 or 400 feet. They were pretty high up, and I didn't make much of it. I was like, all right, they must be circling maybe an animal that they want to eat down here by the lake or whatever. And so I'm sitting there smoking my cigar, and then I start to notice these dragonflies are like zipping kind of close to me and shit. And so I'm like, what is this? And so these dragonflies are zipping close to me, and then the eagles are lowering down onto me in that same circle fashion. And it was almost like a DDoS attack on my sensory system, because the bugs, these dragonflies, started actually landing on me. And then I'm looking at these bugs on my arms, and I'm like, this isn't real. Why are you here? I have a smoking cigar in my hand, mind you. So there's no reason for these bugs to be coming onto me at all. And then look up, and these eagles are like, got like 30, maybe 40 feet above me.
Like Snow White. You had like birds,
It sounds like the gayest story ever.
No, not at all, dude.
But-
no, please don't take what I'm saying is I'm mocking you. Not at all.
Yeah, it sounds like the gayest story ever. I know, and people that don't get it, I get it.
Anytime nature like fucking interacts with you like that, it's a powerful thing. Keep going.
So it interacted very heavily, and it was, I sat there, and these bugs stayed on me for about 15, maybe 20 minutes. And at the end of it, like, they started to leave on their own accord, because I just kind of stayed. I just stopped trying to move it. I was like, what am I, like, what is this, superpowers or something?
Right.
And
Dragonfly man.
they started leaving, and the eagles headed off their own way. And it was about the feeling of how incredibly small I am and my problems are.
Yep.
And how much more there is than me and my rationale could ever explain to someone. Like, and this is the most aggravating thing about this, is I can't.
Drew, you found gratitude.
I can't give this to anybody.
Well,
And that,
you found gratitude.
but
you found being thankful for what you have.
so
You humbled yourself and found gratitude.
right, and so right after it happened, I ran upstairs to my then girlfriend. I was like, God, like, and she just, like, even though she was very religious at the time, she's just like, you're crazy, whatever, blah blah. And so then I was like, I sat for a few months, and I was like, how do I harness what just happened to me? And so I sat and I listened more, and it was more internal rumblings in me. And I feel very strongly that it was an external conversation coming into me, telling me to go to this sector of people that I can find that are the furthest from God, and sing about God to the people that are furthest from God. And that's where heavy metal and 2 albums I wrote about the Revelations came into play. And I had never sang before. This is the crazy part. So within these few months, I decide that I'm going to do this, right? And growing up, I was a guitarist or a bassist. I was not a singer by any means, like, at all. And I responded to a Craigslist posting that someone said they were looking for a guitarist. And so I go there, and I'm just trying to meet musicians and, figure out, I wanted a powerful band is what I knew I needed, right? And so I went there, and it turns out they were interviewing for a vocalist instead, and somehow the communication got screwed up. I had never sang a single moment of heavy metal in my entire life, but I believed and I felt in my guts that God had just given me the ace up my sleeve to get this work done to the best of my abilities. And I sang the heavy metal, and it went incredible. And it's something that I just have now. I don't know. I never practiced it before that day. It just was there that day, and it's never left. And again, this is so aggravating to explain without being able to give this to people. I feel like this is a picture of oxygen to a drowning person. Explaining this and not being able to give it away. But I have a really open heart for atheists. I have a really open heart for even Satanists. I have gone into those realms, and I have actively engaged with those people for, I mean, a better part of my life by now. This was a while ago. You know, and it's just, and so the demon side, many things, you know, like I got married in Uray, and it's a place called the Beaumont Hotel. We stayed in Oprah Winfrey's favorite room, and she's probably the one that was haunting the damn thing. And, you know, fucking, there's like someone,
You get a car. Everybody gets a car.
I was laying there, it was my wedding night, and I was laying there with Tia, and we heard dancing on the roof. Like, it sounded like someone just got drunk and went up there and started dancing, right?
Who's it that sings that? Dancing on the ceiling.
Something, I don't know, maybe.
What a feeling.
And
So
there
we
was
sat there
nothing else
listening
there.
to it. Right. Well, there was nothing else that I knew. I could hear dancing, and it lasted for, you know, like 15 minutes. And so I make a point the next day. I go to get breakfast across the street, and I'm like, wonder how they got up on the roof, right? I want to make sense of this. I want to use logic. And so I go out and I look at the roof. It's a peak. My room has a peak, a very sharp peak. There is no room to dance
Yeah.
above my head, right? I don't know necessarily if that was a demon or a ghost. It was very supernatural.
Maybe it was multiverse. Maybe in a different universe or a different, you know, there was an alternate reality. There was a room above you.
Right. I mean, maybe, I don't know. But I know that there was no room to dance, and I heard dancing.
Possible. That's my only
Yeah.
point.
And dude, there's another time, the Stanley Hotel. It's a pretty famous hotel.
Oh, you stayed there?
Well, yeah, I stayed there, but I not only stayed there, I was wandering around, and I got caught by the security guard sneaking around looking for, you know, potentially crazy stuff, right? And the security guard.
You have all your gadgets so to where you could listen.
No, I had no gadgets. I had a camera. And
dude, we should do some ghost hunting. That would and videotape that shit. That'd be fun.
well, I mean, like,
You don't
I'm
want
not
that shit
worried
following
about
you
ghosts.
around.
I'm not really worried about that. Like, literally, I know in my heart, my God wire is stronger than any demon, whatever. I look at these things as chihuahuas barking at the door. They're annoying, sure. If you let them in and you get bit by them, sure. But
I've conquered every fear that I have. It's like death. I'm cool. I was telling your dad in the chat, I'm cool with it. I've seen death. I've been in the midst of it. You know, I've smelt it, tasted it, touched it. You know, and I'm okay with it. If there's nothing after this, I'm okay with that. If there's a heaven after this, I'm okay with that. I've lived a good life. I'm a good man, and if there's a God, and you know his only hang up is that I didn't believe in him, okay, I'll be judged. But I've always
it's kind of a shitty fucking like Like, God, if that's the case, it's like, hey, I didn't give you any
Yeah.
really good reason to believe in me, but because you didn't, I'm sending you to hell. It's like,
No,
fuck
exactly.
you.
That's why
How
I'm
are
just
you a
like,
good God? Get the
I'm
fuck out of here.
gonna be a good fucking person. I'm gonna go out and from the time my head comes off my pillow to the time it fucking hits my pillow, I'm gonna be an honorable fucking man that looks after the people that he cares about and anybody else around him. If any help I can give anybody, I am fucking more than happy to fucking give it.
For the
I
Stanley
try to be like,
Hotel.
I try to
But
be a peacemaker.
people just live
Drew
like
knows that
Just
firsthand. Like I believe I sound very divisive online, but when it
You're
comes down,
very disconnected from emotions. I will say that. Like
it helps.
he's just
you're
very lovable,
disconnected.
and I respect that.
I'm
Yeah.
not. No. I have three emotions: horny, hungry, and rage. And so like everything in between is just a flat. So if you see me raging out, that's the emotion that you need to worry about. If I'm horny, you need to worry more. But like
I won't be picking up the soap around you when you're mad. I guess.
no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, of course. No, I'm straight as an arrow. But like yeah, it's just like yeah, I do like the line "Blessed are the peacemakers," because like I try really hard to make people see that they are better off working together than against each other, and they are. And like I don't know, that's like the only thing that I'm probably worth a damn for. That, and I give away a lot. I'm pretty
Yeah,
charitable.
I don't
But
know,
other than that,
Colin.
I just let
I
people
don't know,
be.
bro. There's a lot of Somalis.
Don't hurt
out there,
children.
bro. I
Don't
wanna
hurt
be working
children,
with the
like
Somalis.
what?
A lot of Somalis, bro. You want to work with everyone? Be working with working
I mean,
with some
there's
Somalis,
do you
bro.
think they're working with us or against us? That's the question that I want you to answer. Because when I perceive them stealing my tax dollars, I go, they're leeches. They're not
Yeah.
working with us.
I
If
had
they'd come here and
Somali
been more
actually assaulted me.
Hey, hold on, Jeff. What's that?
Yeah. There was a Somali kid in my class in 4th grade that sexually assaulted me in class, and we had to have the resource officer and shit involved and have a meeting. Like, it was a big
Holy
thing,
fuck.
man. Yeah. Yeah. He tried to put his
Well,
hand down my pants.
That's a big
Yeah.
share, dude. I appreciate
Jesus
that.
Christ.
No, I
Yeah,
thought
it
it
was-
was a big share.
The Stanley Hotel, though, it's not that room 212 or whatever it is.
Hold on.
It's the carriage house. It's the
Like,
carriage
friggin-
house, right?
Well,
Yes.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I like Jeff. I want you to finish that shit.
Oh no, I mean,
So
it
did
was
he.
in the 90s. I mean, it like they kicked him out of school and stuff. But yeah, it was
Well,
fucking weird.
The reason I want you to finish that is because it is a big part of what's going on right now. That sexual assaults all over fucking Europe are skyrocketing.
Yeah.
It's a cultural and it's not a race thing. It's a cultural thing. It's freaking granted that the majority of them are the same race, but
It's a race thing, bro. It's a fucking race thing.
If there was white groups that were raised in the
But there
same
aren't.
conditions, they probably would end up the same way. It's not a
I don't
race thing.
know.
It's an
I don't
environment.
know.
It's a nature versus nurture.
I don't know,
I-
bro. I
it's-
think that there's a bell
I
curve for
know
intelligence, and
100%. I've
there's
traveled the world and
definitely-
I've seen it. It doesn't matter. If I've seen white people grow up in ghettos and they act just as ghetto as what you would consider a black person to be, they're going to do the same shit. They're going to, do the same crime because they have the same opportunities. They were raised the same way. They heard the same things. We're pack animals at our core, in our DNA. We are pack animals.
Yeah, but
We-
you don't have
we
packs
group
of
in the same
crackers
teams,
going
we go
around
after the
raping
same
people.
Crypto projects. We group into religions. We group into political parties. We group ourselves. It's in our nature, and we go. And anybody that isn't in our group is the fucking enemy.
Okay,
And
but hold on. Vet, let me point something out. There are plenty of black people and plenty of Somali people who don't do that shit.
Exactly.
And
It's
so,
not a
hold
race
on.
thing.
Let me
there's
finish.
five
Whoa,
of
I
them.
didn't. Whoa, actually, hold on. Let me. You went to a place I wasn't going. I was going somewhere in between what you were saying and what David was saying. In that David's right, there are genetic differences between people from different genetic backgrounds, from
Absolutely.
different, and that means certain things like the why am I so tired right now? I want to say MAC9, but that's not it. It's a particular gene called the warrior gene, and
No, and
it is 5% of
violence.
population from sub-Saharan Africa has
Yeah.
this, and only 0.3% in Europe. In Europe has it. Okay, this causes high impulsivity. It causes higher aggression rates, and this is a documented fucking truth.
Absolutely.
And so, if you have 5% of a population having this gene and one population having 0.3, okay, then let's talk about that. There is a basis for the genetic discussion in gene flow.
Oh,
However,
I
dividing it by skin color is the dumbest fucking thing on earth you can do, because
don't
it's
think so.
not by skin color.
I think that's an easy way to do it because it's fucking true.
No, it's not, because it depends on where they come from in Africa. And so Africa is one of the most genetically diverse areas of the world.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they just all happen to have the same fucking skin color. So like it's very important to make the distinction that, for instance, Somalians are fucking retarded.
Yeah.
Like, they are.
Yeah,
they
but
go
the
to
entire
literally.
continent
We
is, though.
know that they do not have the same, and this could be for nutritional reasons or whatever. I'm not going to reduce it to genetics on that one, because they had a huge starvation event in the 90s. I don't know if you guys remember that, but like,
I remember.
Older
I
than dirt,
remember.
dude.
My cousin Muhammad.
so like they had a huge
I
they
was
had
alive in the 1900s.
Right.
in 1990s they had this huge starvation event. Clinton stepped in and took over and was supposed to end the whole Somalian.
Dude, all the celebrities got together and sang about it. And
Oh,
raised
yeah.
money and
And like,
commercials
yeah,
were
and like
fucked
I
up.
remember this one comedian made a joke on fucking like MTV Music Awards or something, joking about, the Somalians arguing over, hey, that's my fly, and everybody booed him and stuff like that.
South Park did it too.
So like literally like these people had like nutritional deficiencies. These people are now adults. They're now bringing them over here. That could be part of it. There's a whole lot
What
of
about the
factors in there. But
inbreeding,
what we
Colin?
do know
What
is that
about
they
the
never
sister
built a
fucker?
fucking civilization worth a goddamn.
Yeah.
Okay. And he never
no.
built a civilization worth a
And,
goddamn.
and you can say the Egyptian, but I mean, it's you could say that that's influenced by other genetics. You got Middle Eastern people that are different genetics. There's South, they're Asians. There's India, from India, and Pakistan and that area. They're considered Asians, and Asians genetically are some of the highest IQ people on the planet.
Not
Well,
Pakistanis,
Well, actually, I
bro.
was talking to an Indian guy,
Not Pakistanis, but just Asians.
and apparently India has been doing selective breeding for like 4,000 fucking years.
Well, the caste system.
The caste system was
Yeah.
a form of slave. So there are brilliant fucking Indian people.
Well, dude,
And then there
that's
are
why they're all-
absolutely retarded. And it's genetic.
There's a reason
It's
why they're
genetic.
like predominantly engineers are fucking Indians.
No,
They're
that's
smart
bullshit.
as
They get
shit.
fake degrees and they come over here on H-1Bs, and it's a
Dude,
bunch of bullshit.
my godfather is
Bro,
Mahesh Patel. Him and his wife were from India. The guy was a fucking genius. He was a lifelong friend of my dad. He's my godfather. Most
Yep.
badass. He has some of the
They have
coolest
huge
stories.
stratifications.
No,
And-
hold
and-
on. I need to interview him. I want to go on record with this because him and my dad worked on the metro in Washington, D.C. way back in the 70s. And they have a bunch of cool stories because Mahesh was a ladies' man and would throw these epic parties. And I guess like congressmen and senators would show up to him talking about, the shady shit that politicians do. I need to interview him and see if he'll share some of those stories.
But again, like my
Mike,
point is that
Mike,
it's
I
both
gotta
culture
run, bro.
and it's
Okay,
genetics,
buddy,
but I'm going to lean on
buddy.
60% genetics.
David,
Because if we-
David,
Yeah.
we'll talk to you tomorrow, man.
All right. Thanks, you
yeah, I
guys.
gotta go too, guys. It's actually
Peace out, you guys.
I didn't expect to stay on this long.
No,
But yeah, David's right in a little bit, but like you're right also. But also there's plenty of people who come out of the hood perfectly normal.
absolutely.
And I think it's important to recognize that too. And you got a good point there. And there's plenty of white people who still live in those same areas. I was raised in a predominantly black neighborhood, and I came out perfectly not that way. And like there is a genetic component to it. I've fucking seen it firsthand, and some of it is also the problem is you just cannot define people. If you want to define people by their genetics, I am fine with that. But when you want to define people by their skin color, that's where I'm like, dude, you're missing the point.
It's a cocktail.
It is a cocktail.
It's genetics. It's environment.
What if it's Neanderthalism?
You
Just
know
throwing
what?
it out there. Just
I
just
got
throwing
a
it out there.
super slow
I don't
head.
know. I did learn a little bit from you guys listening to you. Yeah, this is I'm pissed. One idea when you guys are talking about what someone can do to be a citizen in the U.S., maybe instead of adding to the already robust military setup that we have, what if we put them in ICE? Okay. What if we expanded ICE 800, maybe 1,000%? What if
What happens when we run out of people to deport?
then we'll have a clean damn country, Colin. Okay.
That would be awesome. I actually do support that. But like it's just kind of like ICE is supposed to be so temporary, like, and like we're expanding this out. Where are they going to go? And if they do their job right, then I mean, it means like they're basically putting themselves out of a job. I used to work for an auditing company, and we audited the industry into dust because once it was in compliance, it no longer was profitable. So everybody stopped doing it. It was the. You remember those text messages you got on like on old phones and stuff back in the day? It'd be like text frog1 to 75757 to get the crazy new frog wallpaper sent directly to your phone. Well, in 2008 I was the first technical employee at a company that built an entire auditing system, and I built the whole fucking stack to get that whole industry audited and under compliance. And once it was under compliance, there was no value to be had because they no longer can bill LaQuisha for who dialed on this phone at like 2 a.m., which was their target audience. 75757 to get you new 2 Chainz fucking wallpaper sent directly to your phone. It was just like, once they put the terms and conditions prominently out there and told them how much this actually costs, nobody did it anymore, and they no longer made any money. Well, it's kind of true with ICE too. If the cost becomes too high, they're not going to come over, and then there'd be no reason for ICE at all.
Sure. Yeah.
So
I think it's a process that'll take at least 5-10 years, though. And, the process of cleaning up the country in that regard, I would absolutely say is worth it. There's plenty of little areas and nooks to continue looking in the Americas. Like what this immigration system did is, I used to be in, the HR side, and I got involved with it by doing recruiting, right? And you're at major multi-conglomerate recruiter, and you're processing I-9s, and you're processing information. Obviously, I can't give out their personal information, but what I can say is that I saw hundreds, if not thousands, of people myself, not as a company, myself, come through with identification that was fresh SSN number, and then also instead of a first and last name, they say FNU, first name unknown. And a lot of those people ended up working at some of our, what should have been most secure military parts production facilities in the country. And that, I think, thinking back in time, that was around like 2012, I think it was around that time. Yeah, like 2012, 2013. And just seeing that really opened my eyes to how much work there actually is to be done to have a country we actually understand what the fuck is going on inside of it. Because if we continue to be this bastion, this landing pad for everybody's fucking problems across the world, then you end up with no understanding of how many social services the country is actually going to be extracting from you as a population from a government standpoint and a book standpoint. Then you end up with what we're seeing in Minnesota, with what's to be seen in California, Washington, New York. Like those states are probably 50 times worse than Minnesota.
Across the
but
board,
you know, I think that there's a fiscal and very reasonable expectation to fix our country first, clean our country first, and honestly, the world's a big place. And if you're fleeing, if you're living and you're fleeing from a society that's trying to build a society in a place with no fucking water or resources, maybe there's a potentiality that maybe that society really shouldn't exist where there's no water or resources. I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, Drew, that's
maybe
the core of the issue.
That desert that's barren of any good and any way of living isn't meant to be lived in.
Hey, Jeff, just
right?
Can you hear me?
So I don't know. It's and I'm just, you know, I'm just throwing it out there. It's uncomfortable shit to think about, you know. In a lot of these cultures, not like a vast majority of them, but there has been centuries of inbreeding going on, which has lowered just general IQ. And so when you have a situation where
let's go around the horn and do closing thoughts.
Other developed first world nations have been able to increase their IQ in aggregate, and then you bring in
go get some dinner and
entire cultures.
You're going on a tangent here, man.
Yeah, let's start wrapping.
I know. But if you bring an entire culture of aggregated lower IQs into a higher IQ society,
yeah, we get you. We're all on the same page, man.
Jeff,
you know,
that's just thoughts. I want to
throwing it out there.
I'm like freaking starving, and I know Jeff needs to go.
Oh,
and I'm
what's
so
Bitcoin's
tired,
price
dude.
at?
I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm sorry I wasn't my normal goofy self
really
today.
Quick, Colin,
it's fine. What's Bitcoin's price at right now?
Shout out Hapu while I look up Bitcoin's price.
I can't watch the chat and do this while I'm on my phone.
Oh,
so.
I know. That's why.
All right, see you, man. Vet, what is Bitcoin's price at?
66,368. So it's down a
Did
bit.
Vet freeze?
No.
No.
Is
I
it
can.
you?
No, Truth, we can all hear Vet. Can you hear Vet? Because he's been trying to interject for a hot minute.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. That explains it.
Man, he's like powerful.
Oh, no.
He's like powering through me.
He's trying to do closing thoughts and stuff to wrap this up, and you're like going off about inbreeding in fucking Pakistan.
I was wondering what was going on. I was like, Drew's got some.
Yeah, I'm not being an asshole saying you're going on a tangent. I just wanted to help.
I appreciate it, Colin. Hey, so Jeff.
Oh my Lord.
Oh, closing thoughts. Oh, just be kind. Be kind.
Absolutely.
Be generous when you can, and yeah, just don't feed into the evil ways of the world, and see if you can mentor somebody younger. You know, be a mentor to somebody. You know, help lead the younger generation in a better direction. So whether that's through sports or what, music, art, you know, just try and help lead the younger generation to a better future.
Absolutely. All right. Greg and Colin, what are your closing thoughts?
If a super wealthy Jew offers to take you out to pizza, say no.
Very well.
Oh my God.
All right. Somebody tell Drew to give his closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts. Since you can't
Oh,
see
what,
that.
me? All right, I can see his lips moving. I think I saw him say Drew. So I guess my closing thoughts are: have a big family. Do everything you can to have a family. do everything you can to be good to people within reason. And this country wasn't founded off of right wing peace. That's my closing thoughts.
Facts.
All
But
right.
but I want to say something, if I may. I don't want to see my countrymen die for this. I
No.
don't. There's got to be a better way.
Yes.
There's got to be a better way. Let tar and feather the motherfuckers who did it, but I don't think we need to fight each other over this one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So my closing thoughts are
Oh,
what's up?
it's-
Oh,
I'm sick, man.
okay. No, I was gonna say my closing thoughts are it's very confusing. It's very complicated, everything that's going on right now. I get it. And people are struggling and hurting. I get that too. But I think the important thing that we all need to understand is to strive to be as self-sustaining as possible. Focus on things that are within your sphere of influence, things that you have direct control over that you can make better. So, if that's having access to water, if that's having, a dry, warm place to keep you and your loved ones, if that's having, a couple of weeks worth of food or a couple of days worth of food, whatever it is. And I'm not saying that the world is coming to an end. If there's a hurricane, if there's a blizzard, if there's a natural disaster, it just whatever, it's good to have those things on hand. Where I live, power goes out all the freaking time. Having a generator like Drew has, solar panels, those things are just smart to have. So, what I challenge you all to do, closing thoughts, is to think about what you need, you and your family, to survive comfortably for 72 hours and go and get those things. Have them in a backpacks, have them in a box, have them in a Rubbermaid bin, whatever. If there's medicines that you require, water, food, a little bit of medical supplies, whatever you need. If an emergency, if you don't have to go out into the chaos, you're miles ahead of everyone else. So that's my challenge to you. I appreciate you all, gentlemen. I really do. I like the back and forth. I love the opposing thoughts, the passion. That's what makes the Red Pill great. And until next time, Veteran Crypto out.
Peace out, everyone.